Chapter 2306. This kind of heavenly punishment power is very powerful. Just the prelude and the resulting turbulence already affected more than half of the divine Sun heavenly sea. Hearing that Qin Yun wants to go out to cross tribulation, Xiao Yuelon promptly held Qin Yun's hand tightly and said resolutely, "Xiao Yun, I want to go with you. I have 9 divine spirit, and my strength is not weak. I can help you." Facing this kind of danger, Qin Yun doesn't want Xiao Yuelon to go with him. Therefore, he rejected Xiao Yuelon without even thinking. "Don't think of leaving me behind." Xiao Yuelon knows that Qin Yun wants to reject her, so she hastily interrupted him and pinched him. All right. Qin Yun also knows that Xiao Yuelon is with him now. It will be very difficult to get rid of her. Xiao Yuelon wants to go with him because she is concerned about him. "Don't worry. I am after all the 9 Sun Divine Maiden. Nothing will happen to me. It's night time now. The divine moon of heavens will protect me." Xiao Yuelon faintly smiled and said, "Let's go. Let's leave the divine Sun heavenly island first. It's night time now, but the divine moon of heavens has already been covered by the thick golden clouds. It can't be seen at all." Qin Yun brought Xiao Yuelon through space and arrived outside the divine Sun heavenly island. When going out, Xiao Yuelon greeted Yang Shirue. She only said that they're going out to investigate the situation and did not tell her that they are going out to cross tribulation. If Yang Shirue knew that Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon are going out to face the formidable heavenly punishment power, she would definitely go with them. The 9 heavens divine demons and primal chaos race were originally waiting outside the divine Sun heavenly island, but now they are scattering like birds and beasts, fleeing in all directions. They thought that the formidable heavenly punishment power was coming for them. Just now, that terrifying heavenly punishment power had locked onto the divine Sun celestial island. Hence, many experts on the island had felt a lot of pressure. After Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon went out, they left the divine Sun heavenly island, and the energy condensed in the sky has been locking onto them. After being locked on, it is very difficult to avoid. Therefore, the heavenly punishment power has been brewing and did not descend all of a sudden. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon must leave the divine Sun heavenly island as far as possible to avoid the heavenly punishment. Someone will come. After the heavenly punishment ends, Qin Yun doesn't know what will happen. He must prevent others from discovering him and Xiao Yuelon, especially the 7th pearl of the 9 Sun divine soul. If the thing inside ran out and was seen by others, it would definitely cause a huge uproar. On the deck of the divine moon ship above the divine Yang celestial island, Yang Shiryu's heart was heavy because she had a bad premonition. Furthermore, she knew that Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon had gone out. She held the soul-chasing talisman and looked in the direction that Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon had gone. She began to worry, so much so that she did not know that Feng Yu and Yu Shangyun had arrived behind her. "Shirue, what's wrong?" Yu Shangyun asked softly. She was still wearing the black armor and helmet. "It's nothing. It's just that the commotion is too big, and I'm a little worried." Yang Shiryu looked at the sky. At this moment, the golden clouds were densely covering the sky. The light that shone down made people feel as if they were being exposed to the sun. This is a very powerful type of heavenly punishment. I wonder who triggered the heavenly punishment. Yu Shangyun lightly patted Yang Shiryu's shoulder and said, "I'm here, don't worry." Yang Shiryu lightly nodded. She tightly held the soul-chasing talisman in her hand and looked in the direction that Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon had gone. Yu Shangyun and Feng, you could see that Yang Shiryu is feeling uneasy. "Shirue, what happened?" Feng Yu asked. "Yuelon and Xiao Yun went out. Over there." Yang Shiryu pointed to the front and said, "The 2 of them said that they went out to investigate the situation. Truly reckless." Yu Shangyun now understood why Yang Shiryu was worried. She hastily snatched Yang Shiryu's soul-chasing talisman and suddenly soared into the sky. "Sister Shangyun, I'll go with you." Yang Shiryu knew that Yu Shangyun wanted to go out. "No need, you guys stay here." After Yu Shangyun finished speaking, she suddenly disappeared. Feng Yu pulled Yang Shiyu's hand and said with a smile, "Don't worry, Elder Sister Clan Emperor is very strong. She will definitely be able to find the 9 Yang Palace King in Yuelon. Xiao Yuelon and Qin Yun are naturally not going to investigate. Instead, they're going to face the power of the heavenly punishment. This distance is about right." Qin Yun looked at the direction of the divine Sun Heavenly Island. "Xiao Yun, you cultivate the 9-Sun World Extermination Scripture. Do you know what this powerful heavenly punishment power is? Is it recorded in the 9-Sun World Extermination Scripture?" Xiao Yuelon asked. "I can't be sure right now." Qin Yun looked at the golden clouds in the sky and said, "But it must be related to the 9 suns. Because the light that is shining down now is like a very intense sunlight. Your sister Shuyan said that if you experience this kind of great tribulation, you will be able to better comprehend the 9-Sun World Extermination Scripture." Xiao Yuelon said with a smile, "You must grasp this opportunity well. Liu Shuyan has also cultivated the 9-Sun World Extermination Scripture for many years." And Qin Yun, who started cultivating later, quickly caught up to her. The 9-Sun World Extermination Scripture has 3 tribulations, 6 calamities, and 9 annihilations. Qin Yun has more or less mastered the 3 tribulations, and next is the 6 calamities. Among the 3 tribulations are 9-Dragon Brilliant Sun Tribulation, Breaking Sun Heavenly Thunder Tribulation, and 10,000-Star Nirvana Tribulation. Among them, Qin Yun has already used the 9-Dragon Brilliant Sun Tribulation and the Breaking Sun Heavenly Thunder Tribulation. As for the 10,000-Star Extermination Tribulation, he is still in the comprehension stage. He has not tried it, but if necessary, he can release it. There are very strong flames and thunder and lightning. Qin Yun opened his heavenly eye and looked at the dense golden clouds in the sky. Suddenly, he caught a glimpse of blue flame gradually appearing in the golden clouds. This kind of flame is clearly a powerful heavenly flame, similar to the heavenly universe divine flame. "It's here!" Xiao Yuelon lightly shouted. Her wrist suddenly emitted a strong red light. The 9 pearls of her 9 divine spirit have already turned red. Now they are releasing a large red light shield. This is her Sun Heavenly Shield. "Xiao Yun, I will protect your body from being attacked. Focus on drawing in the power of heavenly punishment and break the 7th pearl." Xiao Yuelon solemnly shouted. Qin Yun took a deep breath. He is completely at ease and left his back to Xiao Yuelon. Bang, bang, bang. A heaven-shaking explosion suddenly spread out in all directions. Countless violent thunder and lightning tore apart the golden clouds and roared down as if baring their fangs and brandishing their claws. Strangely, this kind of tyrannical thunder and lightning bombardment speed is not very fast. It is to the point that one can clearly see the thunder and lightning transforming into several incomparably huge dragons that are attacking from all directions. Xiao Yuelon is extremely astonished. She released the Sun Heavenly Shield with all her strength and formed a large umbrella to cover Qin Yun and herself. Qin Yun shouted loudly and released a Nether Sun domain. It produced a very strong devouring power and drew a portion of the thunder and lightning blocked by Xiao Yuelon into the devouring whirlpool. Then, he drew the dragon transformation thunder and lightning into the 7th pearl of the 9-Sun divine spirit. "Xiao Yun, what kind of thunder tribulation is this? Why is it so terrifying?" Although Xiao Yuelon could block it earlier, it was very strenuous for her. "It's heavenly dragon transformation thunder," Qin Yun said in a deep voice. "Yuelon, this is heavenly fire, heavenly thunder calamity. One of the 6 calamities of the 9-Sun World Extermination Scripture." "What? Now we are only facing thunder. What about fire?" Xiao Yuelon leaned on Qin Yun's back. She is extremely vigilant. Heavenly fire like sun, heavenly thunder like dragon. This is heavenly fire, heavenly thunder calamity. Heavenly fire will turn into a fire sun and fall down. Qin Yun's voice is very grave. He said in a low voice, "Yuelon, we have to be careful. Don't worry, I can block it as Xiao Yuelon spoke. A huge, snow-white moon suddenly appeared above her head. The moon is floating in the sky, flickering with intense white light. Then the entire white moon suddenly bloomed like a flower bud and transformed into a beautiful snow-white orchid. Xiao Yun, fuse your nether sun devouring whirlpool into my moon orchid. While my moon orchid is blocking the heavenly fire, heavenly thunder calamity, you can also devour it and use it to break open the nine sun divine spirit. All right, Qin Yun is also secretly amazed by the beautiful and huge orchid. With a single glance, he can tell that it has very strong defense. Moreover, it is releasing a burst of intense flower fragrance. Qin Yun breathed in the flower fragrance and felt his mind become a lot more excited. He promptly fused his nether sun devouring whirlpool into the heart of the moon orchid. Suddenly, a golden blue light ball descended from the sky. Heavenly fire like sun. Heavenly fire is coming. Qin Yun shouted. Xiao Yuelon's sun heavenly shield also cooperated with the huge orchid and blocked high in the sky. The blue light ball fell down and smashed onto the huge orchid, causing the void to immediately fluctuate. That incomparably scorching blue energy wave, accompanied by the energy flame, created large ripples in the air and spread very far. Just now, Qin Yun also guided a very berserk power into the nine sun divine spirit's seventh pearl. This time, Xiao Yuelon very smoothly blocked the dreadful like sun heavenly fire. Yuelon, are you all right? Qin Yun asked. I'm fine. Xiao Yuelon became serious. Her beautiful face is ice-cold and solemn. At this moment, her entire body is releasing orchid fragrance. Amidst the cold elegance and moving beauty, there is also a gentle and intoxicating fragrance. She is extremely beautiful, like dragon heavenly thunder and like sun heavenly fire alternated back and forth. Not long after, the entire sea and sky are filled with tyrannical and bitter thunder and fire energy waves. Even the distant divine sun heavenly island is deeply shaken by this dreadful heavenly punishment. Those powerful races and nine heavens divine demons are all extremely curious. They all want to know what kind of thing can attract such dreadful heavenly punishment. At this moment, there is a person flying in the sky while facing the violent thunder and fire energy waves. He is about to enter the center of the calamity. That person is the Divine Moon Clan's Emperor, Yushang Yun. Yushang Yun flew forward with great difficulty. She is holding Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon's soul-chasing talisman in her hand. She is also extremely shocked. They are all in the center. They are not going to investigate, but to transcend tribulation. Why would they be targeted by such a powerful heavenly punishment? Yushang Yun is extremely puzzled. She could not help but think of a possibility. That is, Qin Yun wants to break the curse of the 10 images. Yushang Yun is still a distance away from Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon. However, she suddenly saw a huge snow-white orchid in front of her. It emitted an intense divine moonlight and floated in the air, blocking the heavenly fire divine thunder calamity. Chapter 2307. Yushang Yun was extremely puzzled. She could already tell that Qin Yun did not break the curse of the 10 images. Therefore, the power of the heavenly punishment was not aimed at Qin Yun. Furthermore, if it was really for Qin Yun, he would definitely not let Xiao Yuelon follow him. I wonder if it's Yulan or that guy who attracted the power of sky punishment. Yushang Yun could not tell. She did not know that this was a very powerful heaven fire thunder disaster. The heavenly fire scourge lightning calamity focused on Qin Yun's 9 yang divine soul. Furthermore, during the attack, most of the power was blocked by Xiao Yuelon, and most of it was devoured by Qin Yun to break the 7th pearl of the 9 sun divine spirit. Otherwise, the commotion caused by the heavenly fire cleansing lightning disaster would be much greater than it was now. Due to the appearance of the heavenly fire thunder calamity, the night sky was shrouded in thick, surging golden clouds. The divine Yang celestial sea was also illuminated, causing waves to surge. The huge waves were reflected in a dazzling golden light as they floated in the air. Looking down, it looked like there were countless golden dragons surging in the sea. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan's cooperation was flawless. The heavenly fire divine thunder calamity was unable to hit them. Furthermore, most of the power was guided into the Nine Sun Divine Soul's seventh pearl. The Nine Sun Divine Spirit is truly powerful. It can actually block the impact of so many heavenly punishments' power. Xiao Yuelan is now feeling much more relaxed. The heavenly fire desolate lightning calamity was very powerful, but she realized that after joining forces with Qin Yun, they could easily withstand it. Of course, the main reason was that the gigantic orchid she released was very strong. That orchid was currently absorbing the power of the divine moon in the heavens to strengthen its defense. I wonder how long this heavenly fire divine thunder calamity will last. Qin Yun has been paying attention to the situation inside the Nine Sun Divine Spirit. The blue energy wall inside the seventh pearl is very sturdy. Qin Yun guided the berserk heavenly fire dry lightning disaster power inside and attacked it many times, but it didn't break. There is no effect at all? Xiao Yuelan asked. The effect is there, but it is not obvious. Qin Yun said with frown. Who made the seventh pearl's defense? How can it be so strong? Isn't it Sister Kiru's mother? Xiao Yuelan heard Qin Yun mention it before. I'm not sure if it's Emoji. Emoji shouldn't have this kind of ability. Could it be that Emoji later gave the Nine Yang Divine Soul to others? The more Qin Yun thought about it, the more suspicious he felt. Many of the things sealed inside the Nine Sun Divine Soul came from the Heavenly Law Pawn Shop. As for Moji, she had worked in the mysterious Heavenly Law Pawn Shop for a period of time. The shopkeeper of the Heavenly Dao Pawn Shop is Yun Long. The relationship between Qin Yun and Yun Long is quite good. He has tried many times to get some information from Yun Long, but Yun Long's lips were very tight, and he didn't reveal anything at all. If I don't succeed this time, then I can only draw the power of heavenly punishment myself in the future, Xiao Yuelan said. At that moment, Qin Yun was under the heavenly fire divine lightning calamity. He could deeply sense the terror of such a calamity. It gave him quite a bit of insight. It would make it easier for him to comprehend and control the celestial fire scourge in the future. If everything went smoothly, he would soon be able to use the heavenly fire desolation lightning disaster in battle. Summon calamity, then control calamity to lock onto the enemy and launch a devastating attack. Xiao Yuelan thought about how terrifying the Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture is. This is equivalent to controlling the power of heavenly punishment. It can summon all kinds of calamities and heavenly tribulations to attack people at any time. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan did not know that in the distant sky, Yu Shangyun, the Divine Moon Clan's empress, is watching them from afar. Yu Shangyun is also patiently waiting. After it's over, she will go over and ask about the situation. From outside, she can see violent thunder and lightning transforming into giant dragons that are constantly attacking the huge moon orchid. Although the moon orchid is relatively large, in front of those thunder and lightning dragons, it is like a delicate little flower, seemingly unable to withstand a single blow. However, the moon orchid's defensive power is very strong. The moonlight divine power released can weaken the power of the thunder and lightning dragons. Then, when the thunder and lightning dragons attacked the huge orchid again, they were distorted, dissolved, and devoured by the mysterious power inside the orchid. That's the moon orchid's orchid. I've seen it once before, but at that time, I didn't see such a terrifying, devouring power. Yu Shangyun is extremely puzzled in her heart. In her eyes, that orchid is like a bottomless pit. It can dissolve and devour all things. Xiao Yuelan also grasps the power of Nether Sun, but that is not her main cultivation, so she's not as proficient in using it as Qin Yun. What she mainly cultivates now is this moon orchid. Qin Yun is also very curious about her cultivation, because Xiao Yuelan's cultivation, on one hand, is her own comprehension. On the other hand, She has the inheritance of the nine-sun divine maiden. Coupled with Mu Yu's guidance, she can cultivate her own path. It is not only Xiao Yuelan, the nine-sun divine maiden, and even the women of the Guanghan Palace are the same. This is mainly because of Mu Yu's guidance. The heavenly fire divine thunder calamity lasted for a very long time, no less than 6 hours, and all kinds of power still did not decrease. To be able to form such a dreadful calamity, only the mysterious heavenly power can cause it. And now Qin Yun is very tired because he has allowed the Nether Sun to continue operating for a very long time. Moreover, he also has to release extremely formidable mental power to guide the formidable heavenly fire divine thunder calamity power into the nine sun divine soul's seventh pearl. Xiao Yuelan's situation is much better than his because she only needs to release the orchid, and she can also borrow the power of the heavenly divine moon. With Xiao Yuelan by his side, even though Qin Yun is very tired, he is still very relaxed. Soon, Qin Yun suddenly said in low voice, "The seventh pearl's energy wall already has cracks. It is about to be broken." After Xiao Yuelan heard this, she is also extremely happy. She said with a smile, "I wonder what is inside to actually use this kind of method to open it." The seventh pearl's defense is very strong. One must have enough mental power to trigger the method, to trigger the calamity from inside. Qin Yun said, "That method to trigger the calamity has many mysteries hidden within it." Who did it? Xiao Yun. After this, will you be able to master the heavenly fire divine thunder calamity? Xiao Yuelan asked, and I already have a very good feeling. Qin Yun said with a smile, "It seems like if I want to master the nine-sun world extermination scripture even faster, I will need to experience this kind of great calamity." The golden clouds in the sky gradually calmed down a lot. The thunder and lightning berserk dragons attacking from the golden clouds also became smaller and smaller, more and more faint. The like sun heavenly fire that descended is also as intense as before. The heavenly fire divine thunder calamity is gradually weakening. This means that it will soon end. And Qin Yun has yet to open the seventh pearl of the nine sun divine spirit. In the blink of an eye, another hour passed. The sky sea regained its tranquility. The bright divine moon in the sky shone down with multicolored light. As usual, the heavenly fire divine thunder calamity is over. The large white orchid floating above Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan's head also gradually retracted and turned back into a white moon. Then, it gradually shrank and returned to Xiao Yuelan's body. "Not yet," Qin Yun said with a frown. "Maybe too much of the heavenly punishment's power has been blocked, so it hasn't been opened yet. I can only rely on myself now." Xiao Yuelan held Qin Yun's hand tightly and said, "I'll accompany you, let's begin." Just as Yushang Yun wanted to go over and ask about the situation, she suddenly saw Qin Yun's body tremble and emit a burst of blue light. The skies suddenly became densely covered with tribulation clouds. This time, the tribulation clouds are blue and they did not cover as large an area as before. However, the kind of heavenly might is still very frightening. Qin Yun used the nine-sun world extermination scripture and summoned the nine-dragon brilliant sun tribulation. He continued to use the tribulation power of the heavenly punishment to attack the energy defense wall of the nine-sun divine spirit's seventh pearl. This time, Xiao Yuelan did not use her orchid to block. Qin Yun directly channeled the tribulation power into the seventh pearl. Yushang Yun also seemed to have noticed something. She knew that Qin Yun is using the formidable power of the heavenly punishment to attack something. She had witnessed the entire process of the heavenly fire divine thunder calamity. Even such a formidable power of the heavenly punishment was unable to achieve Qin Yun's goal. This made her even more puzzled. She felt that Qin Yun was up to something formidable. Qin Yun summoned the nine-dragon brilliant sun tribulation, and the commotion was not small. 9 formidable heavenly dragons swooped down one after another and attacked Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan. The tribulation dragon descended and was immediately captured by Qin Yun using the formidable power of the Nether Sun and channeled into the Nine Sun Divine Spirit's seventh pearl. After 9 consecutive attacks, the energy wall of the Nine Sun Divine Spirit's seventh pearl was finally broken, and at this moment, Qin Yun also felt the Nine Sun Divine Spirit burst out with an intense electric current, causing his arm to feel extremely numb and painful. "Is it open?" Xiao Yuan asked. "And I still need to stabilize it." Qin Yun's formidable mental power seeped into the Nine Sun Divine Spirit's seventh pearl. Inside is a blue space. Seeing this blue space, Qin Yun knew that it is very suitable to store the blue Heavenly Universe Divine Sun. He doesn't have the Heavenly Universe Divine Sun yet, but he will definitely have it in the future. Qin Yun's mental power swept through the spacious blue space inside the seventh pearl. It is completely empty inside. After he swept through it a few times, he saw a long blue crystal chest. He took out the blue crystal chest. There are many runes on the surface of the chest. Qin Yun looked carefully and realized that those runes are all words. As long as a portion of the runes is hidden, the true words can be seen. He used the power of the blood spirit to hide a portion of the runes and saw that there are a few ancient and unadorned characters on the lid of the long chest. Imperial Heaven Divine Art. Seeing these 4 words, Qin Yun and Xiao Yuan looked at each other in dismay. "Is it related to the Imperial Heaven diagram?" Xiao Yuan said in a low voice. "It must be related. Previously, when I discovered the Imperial Heaven diagram, I felt that it was cut from something else." Qin Yun said, "Let's go to a safe place first, then open it and take a look." "You are very tired right now. You need to rest." Just as Xiao Yuan finished speaking, she sensed someone coming over. It is Yu Shangyun. There are at least 3 race emperors flying over. Let's leave quickly. As soon as Yu Shangyun arrived, she shouted at Qin Yun and Xiao Yuan. Chapter 23:08. The heaven-leaping shuttle flew towards the divine Sun Heavenly Island. Qin Yun is in the main control room, quickly recovering the energy he consumed earlier. Yu Shangyun's arrival surprised Qin Yun and Xiao Yuan. They immediately realized that Yu Shangyun has their soul-chasing talisman in her hands. Furthermore, she came over in a hurry. Clearly, she is worried that something will happen to them. "What are you doing? That's very dangerous." Yu Shangyun's voice is very calm. No one can sense her emotions. "I'm cultivating," Qin Yun said. "The matter of the Nine Sun Divine Spirit is very important. He can't let Yu Shangyun know about it now, especially since he just obtained a mysterious Imperial Heaven Divine technique. In the past, Qin Yun only felt that MOG placed something inside his Nine Sun Divine Spirit and even added some seals on it. However, after experiencing the process of opening the seventh pearl, Qin Yun is very certain that the Nine Sun Divine Spirit has been completely transformed by someone else. Who is the person who transformed the Nine Sun Divine Spirit? Qin Yun really wants to know who MOG gave the Nine Sun Divine Spirit to back then, and why that person made such a great transformation of the Nine Sun Divine Spirit. Furthermore, the blue space inside the Nine Sun Divine Spirit's seventh pearl is filled with a kind of heavenly divine sun power. This is different from the space inside the other pearls. Although he used his mental power to carefully scan the interior space of the seventh pearl, he can't guarantee that he didn't miss anything else. Qin Yun suspects that other than the Imperial Heaven Divine technique, there might be something else inside the seventh pearl. Cultivating. Yu Shangyun doesn't believe it at all. I'm cultivating the Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture, but there's a problem. Qin Yun explained. He is the best at deceiving people. Yu Shangyun also knows a bit about the Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture. Not to mention that this divine technique is very mysterious. Not many people have mastered it. However, many people have heard of the Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture. They also know that its might is very terrifying, and it can attract powerful heavenly tribulation and natural disaster. Sister Shangyun, is this soul-chasing talisman Big Sister Yang's? Xiao Yuan asked with a charming smile. And it's sure U.S. She's very worried about you guys. Yu Shangyun looked at the soul-chasing talisman in her hand and said, "After we return, I will return this soul-chasing talisman to her." Qin Yun controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle to fly. Previously, he had only traversed through space once. He did not immediately arrive in the vicinity of the Divine Yang Heavenly Island. If he wanted to continue traveling, he would need to consume spatial god power orbs. Divine Moon Race's Emperor. How many race spirits do you have in total? Qin Yin diverted the topic. He really wanted to know about those race spirits and heavenly law war gods. We have 7 heavenly law war gods. The heavenly law war gods will soon awaken. At that time, we will be able to suppress the 9 heavens demon clan. Yu Shangyun said indifferently, "How many from the Divine Yang race, the 9 Sun Sky race, and the other powerful races are there?" Qin Yun asked again. The Divine Yang race and the 9 Sun Sky race each lost 3 to the 9 heavens demon race. As for the heavenly demon god race, the Divine Sky race, and the 9 Shades race, they each lost 2, said Yu Shangyun. Qin Yun asked, "Does the Divine Moon race have the most heavenly law battle gods?" Yu Shangyun nodded. "Why are you asking this?" Qin Yun sighed and said, "I am only worried for your Divine Moon clan. The other powerful races didn't just lose the heavenly law war god, right?" The ancient coffin containing the heavenly law war god was escorted by a large ship. According to Qin Yun's understanding of the 9 heavens divine demons, if they could snatch the heavenly law war god, they would definitely kill everyone on the ship. And those powerful races sent people to escort the heavenly law war god were either dukes or kings. This means that they suffered heavy losses. Are you worried that the Divine Yang race will harm my Divine Moon clan? Yu Shangyun's voice turned cold. She also had this kind of worry before. Your alliance includes the Divine Yang race, the 9 Sun Sky race, the 9 Shades race, the Heavenly Demon God race, and the Divine Sky race. How much do you know about these powerful races? Qin Yun asked. Your Divine Moon clan is completely different from them. You Divine Moon clan are all women, and you are very united. Furthermore, your overall moral character is also higher than them. I can think of everything you think of. Yu Shangyun said. That's good. Qin Yun did not say anything else. Xiao Yuelon knows what Qin Yun is thinking. Because Qin Yun is looked down upon by the clan emperors of those powerful races. Moreover, he had unpleasant experiences with the other marquises and dukes of those powerful races. Therefore, Qin Yun is wary of those powerful races. Xiao Yun, what do you think they will do if they want to harm the Divine Moon clan? Xiao Yuelon said, now that we are allies, they won't do anything too out of line, right? Qin Yun shook his head and said, it's hard to say. People's hearts are unfathomable. I know people from some powerful races. Even they can't guarantee what their race's upper echelons are thinking. Many of our powerful races are being threatened by the 9 heavens demon race. As long as we have a common enemy, we can stand on the same front. Yu Shangyun said, Primal Chaos race, Divine Sword race, Divine Star race, and Heavenly Law Divine Realm. Why did they ally with the 9 heavens demon race? Qin Yun laughed and said, don't underestimate the Primal Chaos race. For them to ally with the 9 heavens demon race to fight against you, they must have obtained some benefits from the 9 heavens demon race. Xiao Yuelon said with frown, Xiao Yun, are you saying that Divine Yang race and Divine Sky race might side with the 9 heavens demon race? As long as there are enough benefits, they will betray us, right? And, for allies like you, there are no eternal friends. Qin Yun said, there is no harm in being more vigilant. Back when Qin Yun was the God King, he was betrayed by the Love God and Thunder God. The Love God is the heavenly mother of the heavenly law divine realm, and now she has sided with the Primal Chaos race. He learned from the nameless old man that the Love God has connections with many powerful races, dukes, and kings. Therefore, he suspects that the Love God is in charge of negotiating conditions. The reason why the Divine Moon race and Divine Yang race join hands to fight against the 9 heavens demon race is because they are afraid of being killed and eaten by the nine heavens demon race. Because the nine heavens divine demons need to devour very powerful humans to become stronger. If the nine heavens demon race agrees not to eat those powerful races and sign a soul contract, it is possible to stop the war. The nine heavens demon race must eat people, and the people they eat must be people with some strength. Therefore, Qin thought about it and concluded that their nine-son royal race will definitely become the main target. The nine-son royal race is currently very weak, so the nine heavens demon race will test even stronger humans. That would be the divine position gods of the myriad realms divine court. Then it would be the turn of the powerful ancient races. Among the powerful ancient races, the one most likely to be besieged is the divine moon race. If the other powerful races sell out the divine moon race, they won't need to start a war with the nine heavens demon race. They can live in peace for a very long time and enjoy the high-speed development of the divine desolate great era. If the nine heavens demon race can eat their fill, they won't be a threat to the other powerful races. Qin explained his analysis. Xiao Yuelon and Yu Shangyun quietly listened. After Qin finished speaking, he looked at Yu Shangyun and said, "Divine Moon Race's Emperor, what I can think of, you should also be able to think of. If you can't think of it, then I am thinking too much." Xiao Yuelon's expression also became very cold. She said, "Those powerful races might not sell us, but they won't help us. We can't say anything about them. I want to go back and tell Shuriwe that you are safe now. Let me go out." Yu Shangyun said. Her tone is still very calm and indifferent. Because she is wearing a helmet, Qin can't see the change in her expression. However, Qin is sure that Yu Shangyun will remember his words. Qin controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle and sent Yu Shangyun out. "Xiaoyan, what do we do now?" Nine heavens demon race and primal chaos race have already surrounded the entire divine sun heavenly island. Moreover, the divine moon race also needs to awaken the heavenly law war god. They can't leave for the time being. Xiao Yuelon is very worried. After returning to the divine sun heavenly island, I want to find divine judge and an old friend. I want to further confirm the situation. Qin said. Xiao Yuelon sighed lightly and asked, "Xiaoyun, when did you have this kind of worry?" Qin said, "After I found out about the casualties of the other powerful races, I had this kind of worry. Because those powerful ancient races are no match for the nine heavens divine demons. Even if the clan emperor takes action, even if their heavenly law war god awakens, they won't be able to defeat the nine heavens demon race. Therefore, they might change their minds. The nine heavens divine demons are very strong. The reason why the divine moon race can resist them is also because of the divine moon of heavens. Maybe I'm thinking too much, but my intuition tells me that the divine moon race will most likely be isolated, causing their last alliance to break apart. If they form an alliance and start a war with the nine heavens demon race, in the end, only the divine moon race will suffer the least losses. As for the other powerful races, more than half of them will be exterminated." Qin said, "If the divine moon race moves into the divine moon of heavens, they will be in an invincible position. The other powerful races don't have this kind of escape route. So in the end, they will most likely give up fighting against the nine heavens demon race." Xiao Yuelon nodded. Qin is almost done resting. He took out the blue crystal box. Inside it is the Imperial Heaven Divine Technique. I wonder what is the connection between the Imperial Heaven Divine Technique and the Imperial Heaven Diagram. Qin gently caressed the box and then slowly opened it. After opening it, there's a transparent, soft object inside. Qin picked it up. He doesn't know if it is a transparent paper or not. When he touched it, it felt like he was caressing soft and smooth skin. After he opened it, he placed it on a table and carefully looked at it. It is completely transparent. Nothing can be seen. Is the Imperial Heaven Divine Technique like this? "Xiaoyun, can you see anything?" Xiao Yuelon asked. She can't see anything. Qin opened his heavenly eye, but found nothing. He suddenly realized that this transparent paper is about the same size as the Imperial Heaven Diagram. He quickly took out the Imperial Heaven Diagram. He placed the imperial heaven diagram at the bottom and then covered it with the transparent paper. After covering it, it suddenly flickered with an intense blue light. The square paper also turned blue in an instant. This is not the end. The transformation is still continuing. It was originally flat, but now it is gradually turning into a blue crystal cube. It looks very similar to the blue sky. What is this thing? Qin Yun is extremely shocked. A meter-long and wide blue crystal cube is slowly floating in the air. There are many characters on its surface. Chapter 2309. Xiao Yuelon looked at the floating blue crystal cube. Although she could not see the words on it, she could feel that the blue crystal cube possessed a power that made her feel fear. Xiao Yun, do you see anything now? Xiao Yuelon asked. I saw it. There are words on it. It's the Imperial Heaven Divine Technique's mnemonic chant. Qin Yun's eyes flickered with blue light. He opened his heavenly eye and very seriously looked at the words. It's good that you can see. We didn't work for nothing. Xiao Yuelon said with a smile. She sat by the side and controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle to fly. Qin Yun, on the other hand, was recording the words on the blue crystal cube. Not only were there mantras on it, but there were also records of things that happened above the 9 heavens. This was mainly because even in the 9 heavens, the various living beings were very confused about the concept of heaven. They did not know what heaven was. Above the 9 heavens, there were also many experts who called themselves the heavens. Those people were indeed very powerful, but in the end, they all died. It also said that this blue crystal square body was called the heart of Imperial Heaven, and it was also refined from a special material taken from the divine sun of the sky. It did not mention who had refined the imperial heart, nor did it mention who had created the imperial divine technique. He only said that if he could master this imperial heaven technique, he would be able to control the heavens. While recording, Qin Yun also learned that the imperial heaven divine art is extremely profound. He is unable to comprehend it in a short period of time. He only knew that this divine art of imperial heaven had several cultivation stages. In the beginning, one had to cultivate the heavenly body, and the heavenly body was divided into 2 stages, heavenly blood and heavenly bone. Qin Yun carefully compared them and was shocked to discover that he actually managed to cultivate the heavenly blood by accident. Of course, his heavenly blood was only at the initial stage. Now that he had mastered the heaven blood, the next step was to cultivate the heaven bones. If he cultivated both heavenly blood and heavenly bones well, he would be able to cultivate the heavenly body to perfection. At that time, his body would be able to contain a very strong heavenly strength. The second stage was to train the heavenly soul and heavenly soul. They mainly trained their souls. As for the later stages, they were still very far away from Qin Yun, so he did not pay attention to them for now. Qin Yun was somewhat excited in the beginning because he felt that through the imperial heaven divine art, he would be able to cultivate a heavenly body and possess a powerful body. He would be able to break the 10-image fiend curse. But when he read the latter part, he realized that he needed to have Tao God realm cultivation to start cultivating the heavenly body. In other words, this divine art of the imperial heaven was of no use to his current cultivation. This was like pouring a bucket of cold water on him. Forget it. There is no harm in obtaining this imperial heaven heart. Qin Yun followed the instructions and used his blood spirit power and soul to fuse with the imperial heaven heart. Soon, the imperial heart was under his control. It gradually shrank and entered the position of his heart. The funny thing was that his current heart was a square crystal, and the original heart of the sun was inside the square heart of the imperial heaven. Furthermore, his heavenly law soul was not affected at all. Instead, it had undergone some changes, allowing him to have a more thorough understanding of the heavenly law divine runes. Could it be that this imperial heart can help me comprehend the imperial heaven divine art, as well as the heavenly law divine runes? Qin Yun closed his eyes to study it. After that, he made an even more pleasant discovery. It was that when the blood circulated through the imperial heaven heart, it could be strengthened. The imperial heaven heart could help him cultivate the heavenly blood. Blood flowed through his heart to his entire body. The imperial heaven heart was now, like his heart, able to drive the heavenly blood in his entire body to strengthen. With the strengthening of the heavenly blood, his body would also become stronger. As a result, he did not need to reach the Tao God realm to be able to cultivate a heavenly body. In other words, there was hope for him to break through the 10 images. I just need time. Qin Yin was completely relieved. Although it would take a long time to break through, at least he would be able to break through. The Imperial Heaven Heart contained the Imperial Heaven Divine Art and the mysterious Imperial Heaven Diagram. Qin Yin guessed that the Imperial Heaven Diagram was a part of the Imperial Heaven Heart and only now had it become complete. The items in the 7th Pearl of the 9-Sun Divine Spirit were a huge harvest for Qin Yin. Regardless of whether it was the Imperial Heaven Divine Art or the Imperial Heaven Heart, they could both increase his strength by a level. It could even allow him to reach a height that no other expert in the 9 heavens could reach. What he is puzzled about now is who hid the Imperial Heaven Heart and Imperial Heaven Divine Art inside the 9-Sun Divine Spirit. Xiao Yuelan has been paying attention to Qin Yun's movements. When she saw Qin Yun absorb the Imperial Heaven Heart in his heart, she was very surprised, but she did not ask. Only when she saw that Qin Yun was no longer seriously thinking did she say, "Xiao Yun, that big thing has entered your body?" Qin Yun patted his heart and said with a smile, "That's the Imperial Heaven Heart. Now it's my heart." "Ah, your heart is square?" Xiao Yuelan shouted in alarm. "I don't feel any different from before." Qin Yun spread out his hands and said with a smile, "Don't worry, it's fine." Xiao Yuelan promptly hugged Qin Yun tightly and placed her ear on Qin Yun's heart to listen. She said with a smile, "I can still hear your heartbeat." Qin Yun hugged her and kissed her forehead. He said with a smile, "Yuelan, I really have to thank you this time. If it wasn't for the orchid you released, I wouldn't have been able to proceed so smoothly. We're husband and wife. What are you thanking me for?" Xiao Yuelan's cold and moving face suddenly became tender and alluring, overflowing with charm. She licked her lips and said with a gentle smile, "All right, since you're so grateful to me, why don't you hurry up and devote your life to me?" "Bad Yuelan." Qin Yun hugged Xiao Yuelan and kissed her sexy and beautiful red lips. The heaven-leaping shuttle slowly flew. A pair of lovers are in sweet love inside, overflowing with amorous feelings, enjoying this rare and beautiful moment. Daybreak, the heaven-leaping shuttle began traversing through space, passing through the barrier of the divine sun heavenly island and arrived inside. Xiao Yuelan is sleeping soundly on the bed. A sweet smile appeared on her cold and beautiful jade-like face. Qin Yun did not sleep at all. He never expected that Xiao Yuelan would be so tired. After enjoying it, he slept very soundly. It could also be that the big orchid Xiao Yuelan released earlier made her body and soul extremely tired. Only with the illumination of the heaven's divine moon did she seem fine, but in fact, she is still very tired. Qin Yun affectionately looked at his lovely wife beside him and couldn't help but kiss her cheek. Xiao Yuelan also slowly opened her eyes, smiled sweetly, and kissed Qin Yun. After they got up, they took a bath and changed their clothes. Xiao Yuelan changed into white armor and said with a smile, "I want to find Big Sister Yang and also go to the Divine Moon Clan to inquire about some information." "Inquire about what information?" Qin Yun pulled her hand and said, "Yuelan, you don't have any mission from the 9-Sun Divine Maiden right now, right?" "Not yet. I want to inquire about the Primal Chaos Divine Sun." Xiao Yuelan mischievously laughed. "There's also Sister Shang Yun's matter. I need to understand her a lot." Qin Yun placed his hands on her face and gently caressed it. He said with a smile, "I already said, I don't need to fuse with the Divine Moon Clan's bloodline, divine origin to break through. I already have a way. It just requires a lot more time." "You don't want Sister Shang Yun, I want her." Xiao Yuelan playfully smiled. "She is a very mysterious big sister. She came from above the 9 heavens." "Then you must be careful. Don't make her angry." Qin Yin is still somewhat worried that Xiao Yuelon would make a move and carelessly touch the Divine Moon Clan's emperor. I know what to do. Let's contact each other again. Xiao Yuelon charmingly smiled. I might come back tonight. Xiao Yuelon left the heaven-leaping shuttle and flew towards the Divine Moon Clan's large ship. It is not far from here. Qin Yun's heaven-leaping shuttle is invisible. Only when he gets close would he be able to discover the heaven-leaping shuttle. Qin Yun looked at the sky from inside the heaven-leaping shuttle. There are still 2 myriad realms divine suns. The third has yet to appear. And outside the divine sun heavenly island's barrier, from time to time, there are primal chaos divine sun fluctuations, as well as the roars of 9 heavens divine demons. Those ancient races' large ships are floating above the divine sun peak. They are all waiting for the third myriad realm's divine sun to appear. No one knows when the third myriad realm's divine sun will appear. They only know that it will be born during this period of time. Qin Yun is also patiently waiting. Once the third myriad realm's divine sun appears and light shines on the divine sun peak, he will immediately take out his heavenly universe overlord to shine. While waiting for noon, Qin Yun suddenly sensed a familiar aura. It's a nameless old man. Qin Yun is not surprised at all. He knew that the nameless old man would come. He gave the nameless old man a soul-chasing talisman before. The nameless old man stood on the invisible heaven-leaping shuttle and said with smile, "Palace King, you really came. Didn't you also come?" Qin Yun said with faint smile. The nameless old man is wearing a conical bamboo hat and white robe. He looks like an expert. Our 9-sun heavenly race is also considered one of the powerful races. Our clan emperor also wants to have close contact with the people who came down from the myriad realm's divine sun. The nameless old man said, "Someone really came down from the myriad realms, divine sun? What kind of people are they?" Qin Yun heard about them before, and in his hand, he still has the divine sun token given by the divine chief. He said that it will only be used when breaking through. I also don't know who they are. I only know that they are closely related to the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. 9-sun Palace King, you were once a member of the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. How much do you know about the Heaven Creation Divine Palace? The nameless old man asked. I don't know much. Back then, I was still unable to touch the highest level secrets of the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. Qin Yun is somewhat surprised, because back then, when he was in the Heaven Creation Divine Palace, he also thoroughly investigated the Heaven Creation Divine Palace and did not find out any secrets. He never expected that the Heaven Creation Divine Palace would actually have a connection with the people above the myriad realms' divine sun. After he left the 9-sun Divine Palace, the 9-sun Divine Palace established a connection with the 9 suns. However, that connection is very special. He can't be sure if it is with a person or with a spirit body. Now that Qin Yun has returned to the 9-sun Divine Palace, he is unable to contact the Myriad Realms Divine Sunday. He always feels that the Myriad Realms Divine Sun is intentionally avoiding him. Palace King, let me tell you something. I secretly heard it from our clan emperor and Wang Ju. The nameless old man said. Qin Yun promptly teleported the nameless old man into the heaven-leaping shuttle and asked, "You can speak now." The nameless old man laughed and said, "This secret is very important. 100 Divine Universe Golden Stones. This is a friend's price. You can scram now." Qin Yun smiled and is about to teleport the nameless old man out. "Wait a minute, we are friends, so I will give you this information for free. Palace King, I am currently lacking Divine Universe Golden Stones. Can you lend me 10? The nameless old man said with a vexed expression. Chapter 23:10. Qin Yin was not surprised to learn that Divine Sun Race and Divine Star Race were in contact. He had already expected this. Primal Chaos Race, Divine Star Race, and Divine Sword Race must also have Heaven Law War Gods. Their Heaven Law War Gods must also be awakened. However, they had pledged their allegiance to the 9 Heavens Demon Tribe and allied with them. Yet, they still wanted to awaken the Heavenly Law Battle God. From Qin Yun's point of view, Nine Heavens Demon Race would not allow Primal Chaos Race to have Heaven Law War Gods. And Primal Chaos Race would not dare to secretly awaken Heaven Law War Gods behind Nine Heavens Demon Race's back. Qin Yun thought about it carefully and felt that there was only one possibility. Nine Heavens Demon Race would allow Primal Chaos Race to awaken Heaven Law War Gods. Seeing Qin Yun deep in thought, the nameless old man chuckled. How is it? My information is very important, right? Do you want to know more details? Qin Yun asked. Do you want me to give you 10 Divine Universe Goldstones before you continue? The nameless old man was afraid of being thrown out by Qin Yun. He smiled bitterly. Even if you don't give it to me, I will tell you, because this matter is indeed very important. I feel that you need to know. What do you want Divine Universe Goldstones for? Qin Yun asked. I am making a primal divine son. I need Divine Universe Goldstones. The nameless old man said bitterly. Our race emperor doesn't have many Divine Universe Goldstones. Even if he did, he wouldn't waste them on me. Qin Yun's eyes lit up when a nameless old man mentioned Primal Divine Sunday. He felt that this was a good opportunity to pry some secrets out of the nameless old man's mouth. Qin Yun is very interested in Primal Divine Sunday. There's a very large Primal Divine Sun outside. It belongs to Primal Chaos Race. The nameless old man must have some understanding of that Primal Divine Sunday. I will give it to you. Continue. Qin Yun said. Our 9 sons, Heavenly Clan's Clan Emperor, and a few dukes have secretly met with the Chaos Race, Divine Star Race, and Divine Sword Race. The nameless old man said mysteriously. There was a king who was on good terms with me. I managed to get some information out of him. Qin Yun frowned and continued listening patiently. The nameless old man continued. That Wang Ju said that the people from the Myriad Universe's godly son God might want to have a secret discussion with the 9 Heavens Demon Emperor. They said they wanted to negotiate for peace or something, but the Myriad Universe's godly son God doesn't want to fight. Negotiate for peace? Qin Yun felt that something was amiss. The people above the Myriad Realm's divine son were very mysterious. They were the backer of the Myriad Realm's divine court. Negotiating for peace wasn't easy. They would definitely have to make concessions, which meant that the 9 Heavens Demon Race would be able to stay in the Gods Desolate. Or he could agree to give the 9 Heavens Demon tribe a piece of land. Qin Yun asked, anything else? After the nameless old man sat down, he said solemnly, I suspect that the 9 Heavens Demon Emperor is already at the Divine Yang Peak. Qin Yun was visibly moved. Why do you have such doubts? Look, there are a large number of 9 Heavens Divine Demons surrounding the Divine Sun Heavenly Island. However, those 9 Heavens Divine Demons are currently biding their time. Even if the people of the major races went out and accidentally encountered the 9 Heavens Divine Demons, they didn't fight. The nameless old man said. Qin Yun had met Yu Shangyun before. He could clearly sense that Yu Shangyun did not know about this matter. How many powerful races know that the Primal Chaos Race, Divine Sword Race, and Divine Star Race's race emperors have entered? Did they come in secretly? Qin Yun asked. They came in very secretly, and they are not afraid of being besieged by the Divine Yang race at all. The nameless old man said, maybe only the Divine Moon race doesn't know about this matter. They seem to be intentionally hiding it from the Divine Moon race. Qin Yun took out 5 Divine Universe Golden Stones. He used a special enchantment to seal the Divine Universe Golden Stones to prevent any fluctuations from being transmitted out. To those powerful races, the Divine Universe Golden Stones were rather precious items. They all had tools to examine the Divine Universe Golden Stones. Only 5? The nameless old man remembered that Qin Yun had a lot of Divine Universe Golden Stones. Because my 9 Dragons Heavenly Origin Formation was modified, I consumed a lot of Divine Universe Golden Stones. Qin Yun said, I will give you 10, but before that, I want to ask you a few questions. If you answer them, I will give them to you. All right, I will definitely answer them properly. The nameless old man smiled as he received the 5 Divine Universe Golden Stones. He also has a tool to store divine universe golden stones. There's a very large primal divine sun outside. How much do you know about it? Qin Yun asked. When the nameless old man heard this, he had a bad premonition. He understood Qin Yun and knew that Qin Yun was definitely thinking about that primal divine Sunday Palace King. That primal divine sun belongs to the primal chaos race's emperor. You better not think about it. The nameless old man said. The primal chaos race's emperor has two primal divine sons. One is kept in the race, and the other is only brought out to fight. What kind of power does that primal divine sun have? Qin Yun asked. It's heat, very strange and very strong heat that can form very strong primal chaos flames. The nameless old man said, and I have researched a way to restrain this kind of heat, which is the primal chaos cold power, using the cold power to swallow the heat and strengthen the cold power. Back then, Qin Yun had seen the cold power that could freeze flames into ice. Qin Yun also had this kind of cold power. Since that's the case, you should be able to take down that primal divine sun, right? Qin Yun wanted to pull the nameless old man along. If I could do it, I would have overturned the primal chaos race long ago. The nameless old man waved his hand and laughed at himself. With my current strength, I still can't take away the primal chaos divine sun. Why? Didn't you find a way to restrain the primal chaos divine power? Qin Yun chuckled and said, Come with me and take away that primal divine sun. Palace King, that's a primal divine Sunday. How can you take it away just because you say so? The nameless old man is already mentally prepared. He knows that Qin Yun wants to snatch away that primal divine sun, but he is still very astonished. Nameless old man, tell me honestly, how did you create a small primal chaos divine sun and even mastered a method to restrain primal chaos divine sun? Did you obtain some secret technique? Qin Yun chuckled and said, I think that with your level, you won't be able to research it. The nameless old man curled his lips and said, You are really looking down on people. Qin Yun said with a smile, Is that so? Quickly tell me. The nameless old man sighed and said, For the sake of those 5 divine universe golden stones, I can only reveal my background to you. My father was actually the former clan emperor of the 9-sun heavenly race. He died many years ago. He was killed by the primal chaos race's clan emperor. Then does your current clan emperor know about you? Qin Yun is not very surprised. I don't know, nobody knows. The nameless old man said with a smile, I am a very low-profile person. I don't even have a name. I am also a nameless earl now. Your research on the primal chaos race was left behind by your father? Qin Yun asked. My father is a genius. I'm also a genius. I have already mastered a method to resist primal chaos divine sun, even if it is lacking. The nameless old man said, I want to use primal chaos divine sun to suppress it. If you help me get that primal chaos divine sun outside, I will give you 100 divine universe golden stones. Qin Yun said with a smile, I will keep my word. This, although it is a bit difficult, it is still possible. The nameless old man's eyes lit up when he saw that Qin Yun wants to give him 100 divine universe golden stones. He previously said that it was impossible, but now he's changed his mind. Qin Yun took out 5 divine universe golden stones and handed them to the nameless old man. He said with a smile, Tell me what to do. The nameless old man said, First of all, you must have a spatial container that can hold the primal chaos divine Sunday. Otherwise, even if you snatch it, you'll have to drag it by your side. If you drag such a big thing by your side, it will be very easy for the primal chaos race to kill you. I have this kind of storage divine tool. Qin Yun's 9-sun divine spirit can even hold the divine universe purple sun, so the primal chaos divine sun is definitely not a problem. If you have it, then it will be easy. There is a spirit body inside the primal chaos divine Sunday. That is the son of the primal chaos race's emperor. He refined his son's soul into the primal chaos divine Sunday. If you want to take away the primal chaos divine sun, you must first get rid of this guy. The nameless old man said again, How do I do it? Qin Yun felt that this is a bit difficult. This is the key point. If you get rid of that soul, the primal chaos divine sun will become the master of nothing. You might be able to suppress it through the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation and then take it away. The nameless old man said, the problem is the person protecting the primal chaos divine sun will have at least one king and three dukes. Dukes. The king and dukes are very strong, and Qingyun only has Yang Shuriwei and Xiao Yuel on to help him. Qingyun is thinking of a way. If he can get rid of the king and the three dukes, he will have half succeeded. The primal chaos race's emperor is not outside. He is waiting for the birth of the myriad realms divine sun at the divine Yang peak. Now is also the best opportunity to take action. I can only deal with one duke. The nameless old man spread out his hands and said, the primal chaos race's emperor is not here. It is indeed a great opportunity. Just as Qingyun is pondering, he suddenly sensed a very strong fluctuation attacking the heaven-leaping shuttle. Qingyun and the nameless old man immediately stood up and looked towards the direction of the divine Yang peak. The peak of the divine Yang peak is a very large circular platform. It stands in an extremely high place, and now the edge is filled with tall formation pillars. The formation pillars are carved with sun totems. Qingyun can tell with a glance that these formation pillars are very strong barriers. It descended from the myriad realms' divine sun. Qingyun looked at the sky and muttered, is the third myriad realms' divine sun about to be born? Now, there is a very powerful barrier enveloping the entire divine Yang peak. In other words, if someone from outside wants to land on the divine Yang peak, they must obtain permission. Qingyun looked at the huge divine moon ship not far away. Yu Shangyun is inside the ship, and they have not landed on the divine Yang peak yet. The divine moon clan did not go in. I wonder if they will let them in. Qingyun muttered, probably not. The rumors are indeed true. There's a group of people above the myriad realms divine sun that are very resistant to the divine moon of the heavens. The divine moon clan and the Guanghan palace have formed an alliance. They have already moved into the divine moon of the heavens, so they're even more hostile. The nameless old man said, there's such a thing? The relationship between the myriad realms divine sun and the divine moon of the heavens is not good? Qingyun is very surprised. It's a group of people above the myriad realms divine sun that have a conflict with the divine moon of the heavens. I don't know the specifics. I only heard from our emperor. The nameless old man sighed and said, this time, the girls of the divine moon clan are going to go crazy. At this time, in the azure sky, as if space has been torn apart, a large black vortex appeared. Chapter 23:11. The nameless old man said excitedly, it's about to begin. Will a great battle break out? The appearance of the third myriad realms divine sun will definitely bring great improvement to divine desolate. Qingyun looked at the black whirlpool in the sky. He felt that it is a bit like the nether sun is revolving. After personally witnessing the appearance of the myriad realms divine sun, Qingyun also thought of many things. The third myriad realms divine sun did not appear immediately. He originally thought that the third myriad realms divine sun was born from the previous two, but now it seems like it's going to come out from somewhere. Qingyun looked at the huge black whirlpool in the sky and released his formidable mental power, wanting to probe it. Because the distance is still quite far, he can't probe it right now. He can only open his heavenly eye to look, but he still didn't find anything. After the birth of this myriad realms divine sun, what kind of benefits will it bring to divine desolate? Qingyun asked. Divine medicines and materials will be improved. Also, some things might descend. The nameless old man said with a smile, if we are lucky, we can even obtain divine universe golden stone. At this moment, the divine moon race's ships suddenly flew towards the divine sun peak. However, when they got close, they were blocked by the powerful barrier of the divine sun peak. The divine moon race's ships were blocked outside. They really didn't let the divine moon race in. Could it be that the myriad realms divine sun people that descended this time are very hostile towards the divine moon race? The nameless old man said, Are there many factions above the myriad realms, divine sun? Qingyun asked. It should be. The people that came down this time might be the strongest faction, so they are qualified to come to divine desolate. Maybe they will take over the myriad realms, divine court. The nameless old man shook his head. The initial stage of divine desolate will definitely be very chaotic. At this moment, Xiao Yuelon flew over and stood outside the heaven-leaping shuttle. Qingyun let Xiao Yuelon in. After Xiao Yuelon came in, she said with a face full of anger, "Those guys actually didn't let us in." She looked at the nameless old man. She also knows that he is from the Nine-Sun Heavenly Clan. What excuse did they use to refuse you entry? Qingyun asked. They said that the Divine Moon Clan already has the Divine Moon of Myriad Heavens, so they shouldn't come and snatch the gift of the Myriad Realms' Divine Sun. Xiao Yuelon stomped her feet in anger. She had previously heard from Qingyun that the Divine Moon race was the race that was most likely to be ostracized, because the Divine Moon race could enter the Divine Moon of Heavens. Now, Qingyun was right. Your Divine Moon clan has the Divine Moon of the Heavens. The other strong clans are all very jealous. Also, your Divine Moon clan is very close to the Nine Sun Goddess. They are all worried that the Divine Moon clan will obtain more resources from the Myriad Realms' Divine Sun through the Nine Sun Goddess. The nameless old man said. That's also our ability. Xiao Yuelon very angrily said. If they had made it clear earlier, we wouldn't have come to the Divine Sun Heavenly Island. We were attacked many times by the Nine Heavens demon race on the way. Qingyun could imagine Yu Shangyun's current rage. It was as if the mystic moon race had been stood up. It was impossible for them not to be angry. The nameless old man shook his head and smiled. The losses of those strong clans are even greater. Their heavenly law war god was snatched away, and many of their people died. Many dukes died, and some kings were also injured. Yuelon, what plans does the Divine Moon Race's emperor have? Qingyun asked. Of course we will fight our way in. Xiao Yuelon coldly groaned and said, We must make the Divine Sun race give us an explanation. Qingyun said worriedly, You want to fight against so many races? Will they fight against you? He knows that there are still Primal Chaos Race, Divine Star Race, and Divine Sword Race in the Divine Sun Peak. Apart from them, the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor might also be hiding inside. We have already notified the Divine Moon of the Heavens. In a moment, the Divine Moon of the Heavens will appear in the sky and lend us a hand. Xiao Yuelon said, Xiaoyun, quickly leave this place. After we fight our way in, come back. If they don't allow the Divine Moon race to land on the Divine Sun Peak, it means that their heavenly law war god won't be able to awaken. In the future, it will be even more difficult to fight against the Nine Heavens divine demons. The nameless old man said, If we have the help of the Divine Moon of the Heavens, the situation will be even bigger. Yuelon, can the Divine Moon race really fight against so many strong races? Qingyun feels that the opportunity is coming. Those guys from the Divine Sun Peak said that the barrier of the Divine Sun Peak was created by the Myriad Realms' Divine Sunday. As long as we have enough strength to break it, we can enter. Xiao Yuelon said, Divine Sun Race won't attack. They also won't dare to attack. Divine Sun Race and Divine Heaven Race will definitely not attack, but the Primal Chaos Race, Divine Sword Race, and Divine Star Race might. If the Primal Chaos Race attacks, it will definitely be people outside the Divine Sun Heavenly Island. At this moment, an illusory image appeared in the sky. It is the Divine Moon of the Heavens. It suddenly appeared in the sky in broad daylight, and it seems to be even bigger. Xiaoyun, quickly leave. Don't worry about us. We have the protection of the Divine Moon of the Heavens. Xiao Yuelon urged. Then you must be careful. If a Nine Heavens divine demon attacks you, I will take action. Qingyun nodded and said. He sent Xiao Yuelon out of the heaven-leaping shuttle. Xiao Yuelon flew back to a Divine Moon race ship, and Qingyun immediately controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle and left the Divine Sun Heavenly Island. He quietly flew towards the Primal Chaos Divine Sun that is releasing gray energy mist. Palace King, you still haven't confirmed whether or not the primal chaos race's king is here or not. The nameless old man is very nervous. He wants to run, but inside the heaven-leaping shuttle, he can't run at all. After the heaven-leaping shuttle approached the primal chaos divine sun, it suddenly entered the sea. Qin Yin said with smile, "If you want 100 divine universe golden stones, you should calm down a bit. You understand the primal chaos race so well, you must have something to sense them, right?" The nameless old man helplessly took out a disc and said with bitter sigh, "How did I end up on your pirate ship?" Qin Yin wants to snatch the primal chaos divine sun. Moreover, it is the primal chaos race's emperors. This is equivalent to the primal chaos race's emperor's little heart. If the primal chaos race's emperor knows that the nameless old man is also involved, he might even make the nine-sun heavenly race hand him over. The nameless old man used a very mysterious method to make many light spots appear on the disc. Those light spots are the primal chaos race people. This brightest spot should be the king. These three are a bit weaker. They're the duke. The nameless old man pointed at the large disc and said again, "The biggest one in the middle is the primal chaos divine sun." They are all near the primal chaos divine sun. Through the disc, Qin Yin can see that there are many primal chaos race people guarding near the primal chaos divine Sunday. These primal chaos race people are very strong. They are all elites among elites. But to you and me, only the kings and dukes are a threat. Will the primal chaos race's kings and dukes attack the divine moon race? Qin Yin is waiting for this opportunity. If only the dukes go, it will be useless. Only the kings will be able to put a lot of pressure on the divine moon race. The nameless old man analyzed. If those strong races join hands with the nine heavens demon race, they will definitely stop the divine moon race's heavenly law battle god from awakening. To prevent the divine moon race from controlling the nine heavens divine demons. Qin Yin nodded and said, "The primal chaos race is the ally of the nine heavens demon race. They will definitely go and stop the divine moon race. Maybe they will go and snatch the divine moon race's heavenly law battle god. Then, the demon generals and demon dukes hiding nearby might also take action. The divine moon race has the divine moon of the heavens, so they can hold on. There is no need to worry about this." The nameless old man said. Just as they are analyzing, the sea suddenly surged up. The heaven-leaping shuttle submerged into the sea, and now it has no choice but to come out and float in the air. Qin Yin concealed the heaven-leaping shuttle and looked at the distant divine sun heavenly island. He saw the few huge divine moon ships in the sky, releasing a glaring silver light. The divine moon of the heavens in the sky is also exceptionally bright. In broad daylight, it is as dazzling as the divine sun, and a huge black whirlpool in the sky is still slowly spinning. The third myriad realm's divine sun seems to be having a difficult birth. It has not come out for a long time. The divine moon race has already started attacking the divine sun peak's barrier. Just as Qin Yin is watching the divine sun peak attentively, the nameless old man suddenly shouted anxiously, "There's movement! The kings and dukes are flying towards the divine sun heavenly island." Qin Yin is ecstatic. This is a rare opportunity. Palace King, what you need to do now is to think of a way to destroy the soul inside the primal chaos divine sun, the nameless old man said. You must be fast, because after you destroy that soul, you will definitely alarm the other people of the primal chaos race. The kings and dukes will also immediately rush back. Destroying a soul requires a very strong mental power. And after Qin Yin ate the moon tier divine pill Yu Shang Yun gave him, his mental power advanced by leaps and bounds. This also prompted him to open the seventh pearl of the nine-sun divine spirit. However, even if he has a very strong mental power, Qin Yin doesn't dare to guarantee that he can destroy the soul inside the primal chaos divine sun in one go. Therefore, he must have a more comprehensive plan. "Xia Yin, let me go." Ling Yuner suddenly said, "I am a fairy. It can also be considered a very powerful soul body. Moreover, I have a small nether sun. It is also one of your mysterious divine Tao images. I will enter the primal chaos divine sun. Get rid of that soul and replace it. Qinyan took a deep breath. Ling Yuner is indeed the best candidate, but he is very worried that something might happen to Ling Yuner inside. Don't be afraid. I am a nether sun Tao spirit, and now I have a powerful fairy body. Ling Yuner said with smile. I am very strong. Don't look down on me. Qinyan thought about it again and decided to let Ling Yuner take action. Ling Yuner put on the blue crystal armor Qinyan gave her. Then, Qinyan used his spatial divine power to open a spatial passage and let Ling Yuner directly go outside the primal chaos divine. Sunday Qin Yin paid attention to Ling Yuner from below. After she was teleported outside the primal chaos divine sun, she very easily entered the primal chaos divine sun. Chapter 23:12. Qinyan forced himself to remain calm because he is very nervous right now. Although the nameless old man told him to prepare to collect the primal chaos divine sun, he only said it lightly. There are still a few crucial steps ahead. The nameless old man said again. You have to relax yourself as much as possible. Your next move will be very crucial. If there is even the slightest mistake, everything will be for naught. Qinyan nodded and said, I will adjust my state. The nameless old man looked at the sky and then looked at the disk in his hand. Many of the light dots on it are motionless. Those light dots are the primal chaos race people. If there is no movement, it means that they have not noticed anything yet. Ling Yun is inside the primal chaos divine Sunday. Qin Yin doesn't know how she is doing. He and Ling Yun can sense each other. As long as they are not too far apart, their souls can communicate with each other. But because the current situation is too special, they did not communicate to avoid being discovered. Whether or not Ling Yun succeeds is a crucial step. And after she succeeds, whether or not Qin Yun can collect the primal chaos divine sun into the nine sun divine spirit is a very important step. After successfully collecting it, they still have to retreat unscathed. It is also because there are so many links involved, and Ling Yun is personally taking action, that Qin Yun is very nervous. This is mainly because he is too worried that something will happen to Ling Yun. The relationship between Qin Yun and Ling Yun can be said to be very deep. Because he has experienced many painful times, Ling Yun has always encouraged him and accompanied him. It can be said that she is his spiritual pillar. Even though Qin Yun has experienced many things, he still can't help but feel complicated at this moment. He somewhat regretted letting Ling Yun go out and take the risk. The nameless old man can see that Qin Yun is nervous, so he comforted him from time to time, telling him to relax. Qin Yun feels as if he has passed a long 100 years, waiting for the primal chaos divine sun's movement. Suddenly, the primal chaos divine sun trembled. The movement is not small. Qin Yun and the nameless old man jumped up. Success! Your spirit is done. The nameless old man shouted in pleasant surprise. Quick! Use your storage divine tool to collect the primal chaos divine sun. Qin Yun hastily activated the nine sun divine spirit and opened one of the pearls, releasing waves of spatial power. At the same time, he released the spatial power of the spatial divine power pearl to envelop the primal chaos divine sun in the sky. Come in. Qin Yun grunted and used his powerful mental power to lock onto the entire chaos divine Sunday. Then he fully activated it. Whoosh! The chaos divine sun's surroundings rippled with intense spatial fluctuations. Then, the entire space began to shrink and distort as it surged towards Qin Yun's nine-sun divine soul. The primal chaos clansmen near the primal chaos divine sun were terrified and shouted. Qin Yun gritted his teeth and released all his strength. Great tribulation begin. He suddenly summoned the nine dragons' glorious sun tribulation. This great tribulation was mainly used to deal with the primal chaos race. The Chaos Divine Sun was massive and extremely heavy. Even if it did not resist Qin Yun, it would not be easy to store it. "Yuner, how are you?" Qin Yun immediately asked. "I'm fine. I'm just very tired." Ling Yun smiled and said, "Little Yun, it's up to you now. I want to rest." In the sky, the roar of a dragon and the roar of thunder came crashing down. The 9 dragons' glorious sun tribulation was so powerful that even the divine sun, Celestial Island, could sense it. After the gray primal chaos divine sun space was distorted, it was slowly absorbed by the 9 sun divine soul. Primal chaos races kings and dukes also sensed that something is wrong with the primal chaos divine sun and immediately rushed back. They originally wanted to attack the divine moon ship. Divine Sword Race and Divine Star Race's kings and dukes have already attacked the Divine Moon Race's flying ship. This is equivalent to them completely falling out with the Divine Moon Race. Primal Chaos Race's kings and dukes originally wanted to attack, but something happened to their Primal Chaos Divine Sunday. They had no choice but to immediately return to the Primal Chaos Divine Sunday. And the Primal Chaos Race's Emperor inside the Divine Sun Peak's barrier also sensed that something happened to the Primal Chaos Divine Sunday. However, he had not come out. This made Qin Yun and the nameless old man very puzzled. Xiao Yuelon and Yang Shuriwei, who were inside the Divine Moon ship, also noticed that the Primal Chaos Race's kings and dukes who were about to attack their ship suddenly left. Then, they looked at the distant location of the Primal Chaos Divine Sunday. They saw that the space there is distorting and shrinking. They knew that someone wants to store the Primal Chaos Divine Sun into a spatial storage divine tool. It was done by Qin Yun. They are very certain because only Qin Yun can do it. The Primal Chaos Race's kings and dukes flew towards the Primal Chaos Divine Sun with all their might. However, just as they rushed over, the Primal Chaos Divine Sun disappeared. After Qin Yun succeeded, he immediately fled with the nameless old man. He directly used the Space Divine Power Pearl to travel through space. The Heaven-Leaping Shuttle arrived near the Divine Sun Heavenly Island. The Divine Moon Race is attacking the Divine Sun Peak's barrier. Qin Yun knows that the 9 Heavens Demon Emperor and the Primal Chaos Race's Emperor are all at the Divine Sun Peak. If they suddenly attack, it will definitely cause great losses to the Divine Moon Race. The nameless old man gasped for breath and said with a silly smile, "Success, success! The Primal Chaos Race lost a Primal Chaos Divine Sun." Qin Yun's heart is beating very fast. He is also very excited, to the point that both of his hearts are beating crazily. The Imperial Heavenly Heart and his original heart are beating alternately, causing the heavenly blood in his body to quickly circulate. The Primal Chaos Race's Emperor is truly patient. Qin Yun only felt that it was very dangerous. If the Primal Chaos Race's Emperor had made a move, it would not have gone so smoothly. "He should be exploding with anger now," the nameless old man said with a laugh. The Primal Chaos Race's Emperor killed the nameless old man's father, so the nameless old man is very happy now. Qin Yun's 9-Sun Divine Spirit now has 2 Divine Suns. Primal Chaos Divine Sun, Divine Universe, Purple Sunday. Next, he plans to cultivate a very large nether sun in the 9-Sun Divine Spirit. Qin Yun and the nameless old man are paying attention to the Divine Sun Peak situation. A few powerful races kings and 10 or so dukes are attacking the Divine Moon Race's ship, and the Divine Moon Race is also fighting back. Qin Yun also saw the King Feng Yu come out, as well as a few other armored women. Yu Shangyun, the Divine Moon Race's Emperor, is filled with killing intent. After she appeared, her ice-cold and intense killing intent enveloped the entire Divine Sun Heavenly Island. The people on the island have no choice but to hide far away. Roar! The sea suddenly churned. A huge blue monstrous dragon and an incomparably huge blue monstrous whale suddenly rushed into the sky from the sea. The scene is very shocking. It is Demon Dragon Divine General and Demon Whale Divine General. Nine Heavens Demon Race's two divine generals moved out and directly rushed towards the divine Sun Peak. The divine Yang Celestial Island's barrier has closed. It seems like those guys really joined hands to swindle the Divine Moon Clan. Qin Yun is currently recovering the energy he consumed just now. In order to take away the primal divine sun, he consumed a lot of energy. Yu Shangyun was very strong. She was able to face 3 powerful kings by herself. She was able to defeat the kings one by one. Even the 2 gigantic demon generals that were flying over were forced back by Yu Shangyun's sword. The Clan Arch is indeed the Clan Arch. How terrifying! The nameless old man exclaimed. Among the race thearchs of the strong races, the Divine Moon race thearch should be ranked in the top 3. Qin Yun was secretly alarmed. Even when facing the 9 Heavens Demon Race's divine generals, Yu Shangyun was able to force them to retreat. Nameless old man, quickly leave this place. I want to go. Qin Yun said. What are you going there for? The nameless old man said in surprise. What can you help with? The Divine Moon Clan has the protection of the Divine Moon Clan. Nothing will happen to them. I'll go over and tell them about the situation at Divine Yang Peak. Qin Yun said, otherwise, even if they break through the barrier and enter the Divine Yang Peak, they will definitely suffer greatly. Qin Yun also told Xiao Yuelan about this matter before. Xiao Yuelan must have told Yu Shangyun, but Yu Shangyun did not seem to be on guard. Didn't you tell your wife? The nameless old man said. Qin Yun is already prepared to go out. He said, I snatched away the primal chaos divine sun, and the primal chaos race's emperor held back and did not come out. He must have set up a trap inside. Qin Yun is proficient in formations. He suspects that a trap has already been set up inside the Divine Yang Peak. That's why the primal chaos race's emperor can't immediately come out to avoid destroying the trap. The kings, dukes, and the 2 demon generals who were besieging the Divine Moon Clan ship were quickly beaten back by Yu Shangyun. Yu Shangyun brought the Divine Moon Clan's kings back to the ship and continued attacking the Divine Yang Peak's barrier. After Qin Yun became invisible, he used the soul-chasing talisman to determine the ship Xiao Yuelan is on. Just as he was about to travel through space, the Divine Yang Peak's barrier was suddenly blasted apart, shaking out a very strong energy. Qin Yun was directly sent flying by the energy. 7 Divine Moon Clan ships rushed into the Divine Yang Peak at this moment. Among them, 5 ships flew the fastest. Just as they entered, a huge net suddenly appeared on an incomparably spacious plaza of the Divine Yang Peak. And from the sky, a huge net suddenly dropped down, enveloping the 5 Divine Moon Clan ships. Damn it! Qin Yun cursed in his heart. This is exactly as he guessed. The Divine Yang Peak seal is very powerful. It is very likely that it has the help of the mysterious people above the myriad realms' divine sun, or the help of the 9 heavens' divine demons. After the 5 Divine Moon Clan ships were sealed by the 2 huge nets, they suffered all kinds of attacks. At this moment, several powerful auras surged out from the Divine Yang Peak. The primal chaos race's emperor's anger is the strongest because his primal chaos divine sun is gone. Divine sword race, divine star race, and primal chaos race's imperial capital have appeared. There's also the 9 heavens demon emperor. Qin Yun looked at the 2 Divine Moon Clan ships that were not sealed from a distance. He looked at Xiao Yuelan's soul-chasing talisman. Xiao Yuelan is in one of the 2 ships. This made him feel a lot more at ease. After that, he took out Yang Shiyue and Yu Wulan's soul-chasing talisman and discovered that they are not in the 2 ships. Big Sister Yang, second sister. Qin Yun suddenly felt as if he was struck by lightning. He clenched his fists tightly. Yu Wulan and Yang Shiyue's ship has been sealed. Chapter 23:13. Qin Yun found the words "sacrifice to the heavens" extremely familiar. Back then, he and Shima Dezhuang were trapped in a heavenly Tao altar and were almost sacrificed to the heavens. And now, 9 Heavens Demon Emperor wants to sacrifice to the heavens. Yang Shiryu and Yu Wulan are inside the seal. Qin Yun, who was hiding in the dark, tried to use spatial divine power to enter the seal but failed. The seal completely sealed the space. This kind of seal is very powerful. It is most likely created by 9 Heavens Demon Emperor and Myriad Realms Divine Sun people. Qin Yun received too much information in a short time. Qin Yun already knew that the strong races on the Divine Yang Peak and 9 Heavens Demon Emperor were plotting. But he did not expect that they were actually plotting to sacrifice to the heavens and to use Divine Moon Race women as sacrifices. Also, after the sacrifice, it is not Myriad Realms Divine Sun, but Heavenly Universe Divine Sun. Heavenly Universe Divine Sun is blue and said to be above the 9 heavens. The 9 Heavens Demon Emperor had been sealed within the blue skies because he had obtained the Divine Sun seed of the celestial universe. Now, 9 Heavens Demon Emperor wants to use the sacrifice to make Heavenly Universe Divine Sun appear in the sky of Divine Desolate. And behind this, Myriad Realms Divine Sun people are also participating. Not only Qin Yun, the nameless old man, and Yu Shangyun are also very shocked. Divine Moon Emperor, our Primal Chaos race's Primal Chaos Divine Sun, is missing. Is it related to you? Primal Chaos Emperor's cold and angry voice can be heard. Yu Shangyun is also extremely angry. She shouted, "You bastards, you actually joined hands to harm our Divine Moon race. You want to sacrifice my sisters to the heavens? I will not rest until you are dead." There are still 2 Divine Moon race ships that have not been sealed. The women inside the ships are extremely angry. Xiao Yuelan has always been following Yu Shangyun, so she's also beside Yu Shangyun. She's also very angry. Your Divine Moon race is indeed very strong by relying on the Divine Moon of Heavens. No matter how strong you are, you can't beat us now. Deity Sword Emperor laughed and said, "And the girls on your ships will be sacrificed to the heavens." Divine Moon of Heavens suddenly shot down a huge light beam and landed on the net-like barrier of Divine Sun Peak. However, after the light beam landed, it bounced off. The 9 Heavens Demon Emperor smirked. "Mystic Moon Race, stop your futile struggle. That barrier was given to us by the 9 Heavens Divine Race. 9 Heavens Divine Clan." Qin Yun immediately knew that it was someone above the Myriad Realms Divine Sunday. It was actually someone from the 9 Heavens Divine Race. He had already stealthily arrived at the Divine Yang Peak and was near the barrier. Several huge flying ships were wrapped up by the 2 nets, unable to move. The women inside did not come out either. Everyone's attention was focused on the remaining 2 ships of the Mystic Moon Race. This was because the 3 Tribe Emperors and the 9 Heavens Demon Emperor, as well as the Devil Court and Heavenly Law Hall, would likely surround and attack the Mystic Moon Race King. This was a huge battle. If they fought, it could be said to be the most intense battle since the formation of the Divine Wilderness. Qin Yun forced himself to calm down and check the seal. Such a powerful seal came from above the 9 heavens. Furthermore, with the power of 2 Myriad Realms Divine Suns, it would be very difficult to break it. Divine Yang Race, Divine Sky Race, you actually colluded with this group of fellows. Yu Shangyun's voice rang out. We did not ally with them. We were also forced to do so. You know very well that our strong races originate from above the 9 heavens. The people inside the Myriad Realms Divine Sun are the 9 Heavens Divine Race. We also listen to them. The one who spoke was the Divine Yang Race Emperor. Divine Moon Race Emperor. The 9 Heavens Divine Race wants to create a Heavenly Universe Divine Sun in the Divine Wilderness. They need enough strong race members to offer sacrifices. They chose you. We also have no choice. The Divine Sky Race Emperor said, "We guarantee that we will not attack you. This is also our bottom line." The 9th Underworld Race Emperor said. These few race emperors all expressed their stance. They only said that they would not participate in the battle, indicating that they really did not want to be enemies with the Divine Moon Race. If these few strong races all participated, the Divine Moon Race could only despair. Since that's the case, we are no longer allies. After this matter, as long as I'm still alive, I will definitely settle this debt with you. Yu Shangyun's angry voice was filled with killing intent, forming a gale that whistled loudly. If the divine Yang race had told them about this matter in advance, they would not have fallen into that trap. Previously, Qin Yun only suspected that there was a trap, and he did not have time to go over and say anything. Otherwise, this kind of thing would not have happened. Now, he can only blame himself for being too weak. Facing this powerful barrier, he also feels very powerless. If he had enough cultivation, he would have been able to use his strongest power to destroy the barrier. Right now, he can also break it, but it will take a very long time. In the current situation, time is very tight. 9 Heavens divine race. You want to use my woman as a sacrifice to the heavens? Then I will use you as a sacrifice to my saber. Qin Yun can only use his last resort, which is to use his strongest power to break this barrier. He took out the myriad heaven divine saber. This divine saber has always been evolving along with Qin Yun. Especially now that he is holding it in his hand, it has immediately established a connection with the imperial heaven heart in his body. Qin Yun can clearly feel that the myriad heaven divine saber and the imperial heaven heart are closely connected. The myriad heaven divine saber suddenly underwent a huge change. Its entire body turned into a blue crystal, and blue heavenly blood flowed inside. Inside this saber is the 9 Sun royal race's mysterious bloodline heavenly pattern box. At this moment, Qin Yun can clearly feel what is inside the bloodline heavenly pattern box. Inside the bloodline heavenly pattern box, there's a very powerful thing. Sealed inside is a very powerful bloodline. Qin Yun doesn't know what kind of bloodline it is. He also wants to open it very much, but he is strongly telling himself that if he opens it, the hidden bloodline will destroy him. The myriad heaven divine saber has been affected by the imperial heaven heart. It has undergone a very big change. When Qin Yun tightly gripped the saber, he has a feeling that he can cleave the heavens and split the earth. Open! Qin Yun slashed at the barrier with great force. A large amount of blue energy burst out from the blade's edge. Berserk blue energy surged out like blue ocean water and enveloped the entire divine Yang peak. The mighty saber wind destroyed all the buildings on the divine Yang peak in an instant, and the huge net also showed signs of being split open. The commotion is so big that it immediately alerted the 9 heavens demon emperors and clan emperors. Xiao Yuelan, who is inside the divine moon ship, also saw Qin Yun and shouted in alarm. It's Xiao Yun. Yu Shangyun also saw Qin Yun's back. A trace of hope flashed in her heart. She immediately flew out of the divine moon ship and rushed towards Qin Yun. It's 9 Sun Palace King, the one who shouted as primal chaos race's emperor. He furiously said, "Maybe this bastard took away my primal chaos divine son." Primal chaos race's emperor actually took away my primal chaos divine son. Quickly blocked divine moon race's emperor. Divine sword race's emperor shouted. Divine star race's emperor and 9 heavens demon emperor immediately rushed out to block Yu Shangyun. Yu Shangyun waved her sword, sweeping out a large area of moonlight. Divine star race's emperor spread his arms. Dozens of huge stars suddenly appeared around him and revolved around his body, forming a star great formation. 9 heavens demon emperor with long silver hair and devilish appearance is very angry when he found out that Qin Yun is here, because his head was pierced by Qin Yun back then. The furious 9 heavens demon emperor shot out wave after wave of blue demon god power to block Yu Shangyun. Divine sword race's emperor also rushed over, with 3 super experts blocking. Even Yu Shangyun is unable to pass. And Qin Yun already slashed the second time, attacking the barrier. What is shocking is that the powerful barrier from above the 9 heavens is actually showing signs of loosening. Damn bastard, return my primal chaos divine son. Primal chaos race's emperor angrily rushed towards Qin Yun, waved his hand and shot out a large amount of gray light ball that covered the sky and earth and landed on the divine sun peak. Just as primal chaos race's emperor rushed over, a middle-aged man wearing blue armor suddenly appeared. It is Shun Yu Tianlong, who has disappeared for many days. Back then, after Shun Yu Tianlong and Nine Heavens Demon Emperor fought, after suffering a crushing defeat, his whereabouts have been unknown. Now he finally appeared. Scram! After Shun Yu Tianlong appeared, he ferociously attacked primal chaos race's emperor. Qinyan can also continue to attack the barrier. As long as he releases the 5 ships inside, the heaven sacrifice will fail and the heavenly universe divine sun will not appear. Big Sister Yang, second sister, I will definitely save you. Qinyan used the myriad heaven divine saber in his hand and crazily hacked at the barrier. The divine universe, purple sun, and primal chaos, divine sun, inside the 9 sun, divine spirit released divine power into his body and then transformed it by the imperial heaven heart. The 9-vein divine power formed is also very powerful. Finally, after being hacked by the myriad heaven divine saber, its might is extremely ferocious. Just as the barrier loosened, an intense light beam shone down. It is from a myriad realm's divine sun. After the intense light beam shone down, dozens of people came down. Those dozens of people are all wearing dazzling flame armor. The intense light released by the flame is like the light released by the myriad realm's divine sun. These dozens of people are clearly from the 9 heavens divine race that came down from inside the myriad realm's divine sun. 9 Sun Palace King, you stinking bug. I have tolerated you for a long time. If not for the divine king heavenly seal being in your hands, we would have already torn your body into 10,000 pieces, sealed your soul inside the divine sun, and burned it. A youth saw Qinyan and furiously sneered. He waved the folding fan in his hand and released a large area of intense divine sun flame. The flame transformed into a furious dragon and hit Qinyan's body like a light beam. At the same time, other 9 heavens divine race people also attacked ferociously. Countless fire dragons roared and charged at Qinyan. 9 heavens divine race people have surpassed the sacred god realm. All of them are Tao gods. Their divine power far exceeds Qinyan's. Qinyan's cultivation is far inferior to those 9 heavens divine race people, especially when facing the kind of dreadful divine sun power. It is impossible for him to block it. His body was immediately sent flying. Along with the fire dragon, transformed into a flame wave, he was sent flying out of the divine Yang Peak. Qinyan is already seriously injured. He is in a daze. He can sense a very strong demon god power rushing over. It is divine General Yao Long. Scram! The divine judge shouted and suddenly appeared beside Qinyan. He held the mighty myriad heaven divine punishment banner and sent divine General Yao Long fly. Chapter 23:14. Qinyan was protected by the divine judge and brought to a large ship of divine moon race. Then Xiao Yuan brought him over. His injuries are not light. He did his best. The divine judge sighed. Those 9 heavens divine race from myriad realms divine sun are really strong. Divine judge, didn't myriad realms divine sun once support 9 yang divine palace and myriad realms divine court? Why is 9 heavens divine race leading evil now? Xiao Yuan took over the heavily injured Qinyan and poured her divine power into him to help him heal. 9 heavens divine race has several factions. Right now, the more callous faction is in power, so the other factions are powerless. The divine judge looked at the black whirlpool in the sky and said, "The heaven's sacrifice is about to begin. If a heavenly universe divine sun appears, myriad heavens divine desolate's operation will break away from its original purpose." The divine judge said, "Myriad heavens divine desolate originally had 9 myriad realms divine suns. If a heavenly universe divine sun appeared, then the 2 myriad realms divine suns might be affected and might even be destroyed by them." Xiao Yuan looked at the weak and powerless Qinyan, gritted her teeth, and said, Those guys want to kill my sisters and sacrifice them to the heavens. Our myriad realms' divine son just going to watch helplessly? The divine judge tightly held the divine punishment flag and said, I will do my best to block them. He suddenly rushed towards the chaotic battlefield. Yu Shangyun is fighting against a few race emperors. Xinyu Tianlong is fighting against 9 Heavens Demon Emperor. Dukes and dukes are also participating. As the leader of Myriad Realms' divine court, the divine judge must take action. This is his responsibility. Although Myriad Realms' divine court has been established for a period of time, it has yet to mature. Only the divine judge is relatively strong and can stand shoulder to shoulder with other race emperors. Myriad Realms' divine court was originally responsible for maintaining order in Myriad Heaven's divine desolate, but before it matured, it faced the appearance of all kinds of powerful races. Xiao Yuelon brought Qin Yun to a room on a large ship. Xiao Yun, you must quickly recover. Xiao Yuelon now feels very powerless. Although she is 9-Sun divine daughter and can borrow the power of Myriad Realms' divine moon, she is still very weak in front of 9 Heavens' divine moon. The 9 Heavens' divine race had always been on top of the Myriad Realms' divine Sunday. They could also borrow the power of the Myriad Realms' divine Sunday. The divine moon of the heavens was too weak compared to the Myriad Realms' divine Sunday. I will go now. Qin Yun recovered a little, clenched his fists, and was about to get off the bed. You're not done yet. Xiao Yuelon immediately hugged him and whispered, Xiao Yun, you must calm down. If you are killed by those bastards, then all hope will be gone. Just now, Xiao Yuelon also saw that Qin Yun was able to shake the seal. If not for the sudden arrival of the 9 Heavens divine race, Qin Yun would have definitely broken the seal. The people of 9 Heavens divine race are very strong, let alone Qin Yun. Even the other race emperors would find it difficult to resist. Qin Yun thought of his divine universe, Purple Sun, and Chaos Divine Sunday. They were his trump cards. If he were to disregard everything and release these 2 divine suns, he might be able to force the 9 Heavens divine race to retreat or stop them from performing the sacrifice. The deity punishment flags of the heavens of the divine judge were still very powerful. Furthermore, he had returned from a universe of Empyrean laws and received a lot of improvements. Therefore, he can now block those race emperors, relieving a lot of pressure on Yu Shangyun. Don't waste your energy with them. Come back and protect the offerings. An old man on top of the divine sun peak said, his voice is like thunder rumbling in all directions. An even larger barrier appeared on the divine sun peak. It is formed by many formation pillars. The barrier that sealed the 5 ships was almost blasted apart by Qin Yun. Just in case, the people of 9 Heavens divine race released another barrier. 9 Heavens demon emperor, primal chaos race emperor, and the others also quickly retreated into the barrier of the divine sun peak. There's indeed no point in continuing to fight. It is very difficult for people of their level to kill each other. They're inside the barrier, waiting for the heavens' sacrifice to begin. Once the heavenly universe divine sun appears, it is equivalent to them participating in the creation of the heavenly universe divine Sunday. In the future, they will be able to borrow the power of the heavenly universe divine sun and become the strongest group of people in the divine desolate. This is the goal of their joint operation this time. Keep our offerings well. As long as there are no accidents with the offerings, this time's heaven sacrifice will definitely succeed. The old man from 9 Heavens divine race laughed. Elder Zhao of 9 Heavens divine race, you must remember that I am the one who provided the sun seed of the heavenly universe divine sun. 9 Heavens demon emperor deliberately raised his voice. 9 Heavens demon emperor stole the sun seed of the heavenly universe divine sun and used it to make the 9 Heavens demon race very strong, able to condense that kind of blue crystal. And to this day, the sun seed is still in the hands of 9 Heavens demon emperor. From the names, 9 Heavens demon race and 9 Heavens divine race seem to have a very close relationship. Don't worry, we will remember. After the heavenly universe divine sun appears, we will talk about the distribution of benefits. Elder Zhao of Nine Heavens Divine Race said with smile. Xin Yu Tianlong and Yu Shangyun attacked the barrier a few times and realized that it was useless, so they did not continue attacking. That barrier is powered by the myriad realms' divine sun. It is very difficult for us to break it. The divine judge looked up and sighed. From the divine judge's point of view, the divine moon women in the 5 ships will definitely become sacrifices today. Nine Heavens Divine Race, you were sent to this god realm, but you joined hands with the Nine Heavens Demon Race. Aren't you afraid that the people above the 9 heavens will find out about this? Xin Yu Tianlong said angrily. Haha, if we control the heavenly universe divine sun, why would we be afraid of the people above the 9 heavens? Elder Zhao laughed wildly and said, Xin Yu Tianlong, you should be very clear about how strong the heavenly universe divine sun is, right? Yu Shangyun immediately turned around and returned to the divine moon race's ship. She wants to find Xiao Yuelon and Qin Yun. Now, she can only place her hopes on Qin Yun. The women in the 5 ships are all her sisters from the divine moon race. She must save them no matter what, the divine judge said. You use so many divine moon race women as sacrifices. Aren't you afraid of the divine moon race's revenge? The divine star race's emperor said with smile. Once the heavenly universe divine sun appears, even the divine moon race will have to bow their heads in submission. At that time, the divine moon race will be nothing but a fart. The divine sword race's emperor said, Elder Zhao, the saber in the 9 Sun Palace King's hand is transformed from the myriad heaven divine sword. After this matter is over, help me seize that saber. Just now, they all saw Qin Yun use that saber to nearly split open the barriers sealing the 5 ships. No problem. Elder Zhao also agreed. If they did not rope in these race emperors, they would not have been able to do it so smoothly. Elder Zhao, why didn't you just kill that 9 Sun Palace King? The primal chaos race's emperor is still filled with anger. He said, My primal chaos divine son was taken away by that bastard. He has the God King heavenly seal in his hand. If we directly killed him, we wouldn't be able to get the God King heavenly seal. Elder Zhao shook his head and said, Do you think we don't want to kill this bastard? At this time, a fat middle-aged woman walked over and said in deep voice, He not only has the God King heavenly seal, he also has the 9 Sun heaven-raising pagoda. Race Emperor, if we kill him, your primal chaos divine sun will also disappear. Love God, is the God King heavenly seal really that important? The primal chaos race's emperor asked. This fat middle-aged woman is the love god. Very important. Only by obtaining the God King heavenly seal can one become the God King of the divine world. Love God nodded and said, There are many divine worlds under the 9 heavens. Each divine world has a God King heavenly seal. Divine Desolate is a new and very large divine world. It means that the God King born here will be the strongest God King in all the divine worlds. 9 Heavens Demon Emperor said, God Desolate's ambition is extremely great. If those 9 myriad realms divine suns really succeed, then at that time, they will truly look down on all the divine realms and even surpass the 9 heavens. Elder Zhao said, Therefore, we must obtain that divine king heavenly seal. Primal Chaos Race's emperor cursed in low voice. God King heavenly seal is such a good thing. Why is it in that damned bastard's hands? This question is also what many experts present want to ask. Those few race emperors, kings and dukes, all looked at Love God. Because Love God used to be Qin Yun's subordinate, and she also has a god throne. Meeting the gazes of many experts, Love God is also somewhat nervous. She shook her head and said, I don't know. This guy's situation is very contradictory. He clearly suffers all kinds of heavenly punishments, but it seems like he is very favored by the heavenly Tao. Just as they're talking about the God King heavenly seal, someone suddenly shouted, Look at the sea. Divine Sun Peak is located at a very high place. It is located at the center of Divine Sun Heavenly Island. One could see the sea around Divine Sun Heavenly Island, and at this moment, An incomparably huge mountain is floating on the sea's surface, slowly floating over. This is Heavenly Tao altar. This damn thing, why is it here? Nine Heavens Divine Race's Elder Zhao's expression slightly changed. Heavenly Tao altar? Isn't Heavenly Tao dead? Why is this Heavenly Tao altar still here? Love God frowned and said, without the power of Heavenly Tao, it is impossible for such a huge altar to float. Love God is Heavenly Mother emotionless from Heavenly Law Divine Realm. After Heavenly Tao died, Heavenly Law Divine Realm dispersed. Therefore, she did not call herself Heavenly Mother emotionless. She also has a certain understanding of Heavenly Tao altar. What is Heavenly Tao? Nine Heavens Demon King has been sealed for a very long time, so he does not know about this matter. You can say that it is the consciousness of the entire heavenly God wilderness. This consciousness originally had intelligence and spirituality, but now only the heartless heavenly rules are operating. The various heavenly tribulations in heavenly God wilderness are caused by the heartless heavenly rules. Love God replied, the heavens we're going to worship are the nine heavens, not the heavenly Tao of heavenly God wilderness. Elder Zhao laughed coldly. This heavenly Tao altar only appeared to make its presence known. The heavenly Tao altar that floated over is still very far away from Divine Sun Peak, but can still hear them. Within the heavenly Tao altar, Heaven Tao's voice rang out. Heavenly God Wilderness has no nine heavens. In Heavenly God Wilderness, Heavenly Tao is above, nine heavens below. Bullsh ***. A nine heavens divine race middle-aged man shouted. Nine heavens is the greatest. Nine heavens is the greatest. Heavenly Tao is the strongest. Heaven Tao laughed and replied, nine heavens has no Tao. Heavenly Tao has Tao. Love God laughed coldly. Heavenly Tao is already dead. What are you doing here, Heaven Tao? Are you trying to stop the worship? Chapter 23:15. Tian Dao Z suddenly appear together with the Heavenly Tao altar, and in this kind of situation, it is clearly not a coincidence. Qin Yun, who is heavily injured, can hear Tian Dao Z's voice from inside the Divine Moon Clan ship. Tian Dao Z died once before, but his soul is still here. Now that he is here with the Heavenly Tao altar, it means that something big must have happened here. Qin Yun is lying on the bed. He really wants to talk to Tian Dao Z. Xiao Yuan tightly held Qin Yun's hand and said in low voice, Xiao Yun, Sister Shang Yun will be here soon. At that time, she will take care of you and help you heal. I will go talk to Tian Dao Z at that time. She is very familiar with Tian Dao Z, and he also knows her. Divine Moon Clan's Emperor? Is she all right? Qin Yun also knows that Yu Shang Yun is fighting against several clan emperors outside. She's fine. A very strong barrier has appeared on the Divine Yang Peak. Those guys are hiding inside the barrier, waiting to be sacrificed to the heavens. Xiao Yuan thought of the sisters on the 5 ships being used as sacrifices and immediately felt extremely sad and furious. The killing intent hidden within her body also unintentionally rushed out. If she did not see that Qin Yun is heavily injured, she would have already killed her way out. Yu Shang Yun directly pushed open the door and entered. She is still wearing black armor and helmet. Her body is emitting a very cold and arrogant aura. Sister Shang Yun, I'll leave Xiao Yun to you. I'll go meet Tian Dao Z. You might have a way. Xiao Yuan promptly got up. Yuan, don't act recklessly. With your current strength, killing your way in is futile. Yu Shang Yun warned. Yuan. Qin Yun also wanted to warn Xiao Yuan. Xiao Yuan knows what Qin Yun wants to say. She smiled at him and said, Xiao Yun, you will definitely be able to save Sister Yang and the others. I believe in you. Qin Yun replied softly. Xiao Yuan walked out of the room and closed the door, letting Yu Shang Yun heal Qin Yun. Qin Yun lied on the bed and looked at Yu Shang Yun. He said weakly, Divine Moon Clan's Emperor, I've disappointed you. You worked so hard to block those clan emperors, but I couldn't break that seal. You did your best. Yu Shangyun's cold and arrogant voice seems to have some praise in it. Of course, she knows that Qin Yun did his best. After all, Qin Yun is only at the profound god realm. Please heal me quickly. After I recover, I'll try again. Qin Yun planned to risk his life to save Yang Shiyu and Yu Wulan. He had the godly Monarch Heaven Seal. Even if he died, his soul could be placed in the godly Monarch Heaven Seal, and he would not die completely. Of course, if he were to start all over again, it would take a long time for him to reach his current level of cultivation. It's useless even if you try again after you've recovered. Yu Shangyun said coldly. If you were to face them with your current strength, who can you beat? Don't worry about me. Hurry up and heal me. Even if I die, I will go. Although Qin Yun's weak voice was low, it was filled with vigor and determination. Yu Shangyun suddenly placed her hand on the helmet and slowly took off the black helmet. Qin Yun also widened his eyes as he looked at the beautiful face under the helmet. Yu Shangyun was very beautiful. Her face and eyes should have been that of a gentle beauty, but she did not smile. Furthermore, her jade face revealed a cold and arrogant aura, so she looked more serious. Her hair was not long, only reaching her shoulders. It was neither too long nor too short, making her look very capable. Combined with her expression and eyes, she gave off a faint, domineering aura. At this moment, she was looking at Qin Yun. Her eyes were very intelligent, very clear, and very beautiful. Between her brows, there was a very strong, heroic spirit. What made Qin Yun feel the most impact was that the moment Yu Shangyun took off her helmet, the incomparably wonderful fragrance from her body assaulted his nostrils. It could be said to be a direct hit to his heart. The peerless fragrance accompanied her cold and arrogant beauty. Even Qin Yun, who had seen many beauties, was stunned by this woman. This made him unable to help but breathe heavily. He only wanted to greedily suck in that peerless fragrance. Yu Shangyun did not say a word. Instead, she looked at Qin Yun indifferently. Qin Yun took a deep breath and calmed himself down. Only then did he size up the cold, arrogant, alluring, powerful, and beautiful divine Moon Clan's emperor. Originally, Qin Yun was extremely nervous because Yang Shiyu and Yu Wulan were in danger. He even lost his mind. However, after smelling the wonderful fragrance from Yu Shangyun's body, he calmed down. You are very similar to her. Qin Yun did not know why, but his injuries seemed to have improved a little. Yu Shangyun said, you are at least 70% similar to her. If you were to smile, you would definitely be as gentle as her. Qin Yun was now certain that Yu Shangyun and Xie Qiru definitely knew each other. Furthermore, they were definitely very familiar with each other. Yu was Xie Qiru, the name of the nine-son divine maiden. Yu Shangyun stood by the bed, her eyebrows raised high. She looked down at Qin Yun, who was lying on the bed, and said coldly, in order to save my sisters, I am willing to pay with my life. But in the current situation, even if I pay with my life, I won't be able to save anyone. Qin Yun lay on the bed and stared at Yu Shangyun's beautiful eyes. Although her eyes were filled with cold arrogance and might, there was despair and grief in the depths of her beautiful eyes. She could not save her sisters and the 5 ships. She had already given up all hope, but she suppressed her emotions. I can. Qin Yun said with certainty, if I risk my life, I will definitely be able to save them. I didn't expect the 9 heavens divine race to appear, and I didn't expect them to be so strong. If I had known in advance, I would have definitely saved them. Then you will definitely die, right? Yu Shangyun asked. Of course. Qin Yun spoke in a very carefree manner. He had already disregarded his own life and death. After you recover, if you risk your life, can you really save them? Yu Shangyun's voice softened a little. Yes, I definitely can. Qin Yun said with certainty. My injuries will heal very quickly. You just have to help me again. You care about them that much? Why? Yu Shangyun asked. Just like how you care about them. Qin Yun sighed and said, hurry up and help me heal my injuries. There's not enough time. Yu Shangyun suddenly took off the black armor on her body. She was only wearing a thin undergarment that covered her upper body and waist. Qin Yun was stunned. Yu Shangyun grabbed the clothes on Qin Yun's upper body and tore them apart in a very wild manner. Qin Yun is currently very weak. He is unable to resist the divine moon race's emperor at all. The clothes on his body were torn apart by her in an instant. What are you going to do? Qin Yun is somewhat terrified. Do you want to devour me? Yu Shangyun carried him with one hand and arrived at a bath filled with golden divine water. Then, she roughly threw him down. Haven't you been looking forward to it in your heart? Yu Shangyun also walked down from the bath and said coldly. Then, she helped Qin Yun up from the water. What am I looking forward to? Qin Yun is completely dumbfounded. Aren't you looking forward to me helping you fuse with the divine moon bloodline, divine origin? Yu Shangyun looked coldly into Qin Yun's eyes. Although Qin Yun is in a warm bath, he felt a chill down his spine from Yu Shangyun's gaze. I have never looked forward to such a thing. Previously, I only wanted to discuss other methods of fusing with you. Qin Yun said very seriously. I have never thought of such a thing. There is only one way, and that is for me to cultivate the third level of the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra with you. Yu Shangyun's hand pressed on Qin Yun's heart. What are you doing? Qin Yun is worried that his Imperial Heaven Heart will be taken out and asked anxiously. I will cultivate the first level of the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra with you first and see if I can trust you. As Yu Shangyun spoke, she tore off the last few pieces of clothing on her body. The water in the bath is specially refined late at night. At this moment, it is boiling and a golden mist lingered around. Even though Yu Shangyun is in front of Qin Yun, he can't see her face clearly. He can only see her penetrating gaze. Very good, I still trust you. Yu Shangyun sighed softly. Her sigh was ice cold. Why should I trust you? Not to mention that Qin Yun is currently very weak. Even when he was full of vigor and vitality, facing the powerful emperor, he could only be at her mercy, let alone now. Are you sure you want to help me fuse with the divine moon bloodline, divine origin? You should know what this means. I already said that I can give up my life to save them. But even if I throw away my life, I still can't save them. Yu Shangyun said coldly. And now, this is the only way to save them. If you break the curse of the 10 statues, there might be a glimmer of hope. So I can only help you break the curse. Curse? Qin Yun sighed. After I save them, you won't kill me, right? Yu Shangyun immediately replied. I won't kill you, but you can't tell anyone about what happened today. Furthermore, you are not allowed to appear in front of me again. Wherever I am, you can't go near me. Qin Yun nodded and sighed again. At this time, I'm afraid I won't be able to arouse any interest. Leave it to me. After Yu Shangyun finished speaking, she suddenly hugged Qin Yun and kissed him. Yu Shangyun is very inexperienced, but the wonderful fragrance on her body seems to ignite the deep love in Qin Yun's heart, causing him to be intoxicated, as if he wants to forget everything. What made him most confused is that the fragrance on Yu Shangyun's body gave him an illusion, making him mistakenly think that Yu Shangyun's love for him is as deep as the ocean. Ling Yun knows what is happening outside. She is also dumbstruck because she never expected that Yu Shangyun would take the initiative to help Qin Yun fuse with the divine moon bloodline, divine origin. Xiao Yuelon arrived at the heavenly law altar and looked at a bald old man. This old man is not only bald, he doesn't even have eyebrows or eyelashes. This is the reborn Tian Daozi. Tian Daozi, what are you doing here? Are you here to seal Xiaoyan? Xiao Yuelon asked. I don't know why I'm here. I only know that something very important is about to happen here. It might be related to the heavenly Tao. It might not be related to the heavenly Tao. Tian Daozi closed his eyes and said unhurriedly, as for the enemy of the heavenly Tao is so powerful that it is impossible for it to have an enemy. Then why do you say that Xiao Yun is the enemy of the heavenly Tao? Xiao Yuelon asked. The heavenly Tao is powerful and invincible. Is there anyone under the heavenly Tao who is worthy to be the enemy of the heavenly Tao? If the heavenly Tao has an enemy, then it can only be the heavenly Tao itself. Only the heavenly Tao is worthy to be its enemy. Tian Dao Zi let out a long sigh. This is also what I understand now. Chapter 23:16. Tian Dao Zi was at the top of the heavenly altar. This heavenly altar was much taller than before. Although it wasn't as tall as the Divine Yang Peak, its aura wasn't any weaker. Xiao Yuelon and Tian Daozi are at the peak of the heavenly law altar. They can sense several powerful energy waves rushing over from all directions. It's a nine heavens divine beast. Xiao Yuelon sensed the aura of the nine heavens divine demons and immediately summoned a blood-red saber. Don't worry, they won't be able to break in, Tian Daozi said very confidently. There were many nine heavens demon kings hiding at the bottom of the sea. These nine heavens demon kings must have been ordered by the nine heavens demon king to attack the Heaven Dao altar and test its strength. Although the group of people on the Divine Yang Peak did not seem to be afraid of the Heavenly Dao altar, the sudden appearance of the Heavenly Dao altar still worried them. If something happened to the heavenly altar during the worship ceremony, it would very likely ruin their plan. They jointly created the Divine Son of Cosmos, and in the future, the Divine Son of Cosmos would belong to them. Under their control, they could even devour the two divine sons of the myriad worlds and divine moons of the heavens. At that time, they would become the strongest faction in the all-heavens divine wilderness. Therefore, they would never allow anyone to ruin this grand plan. The nine heavens god demons that suddenly flew out from the sea were all crystal balls, and the nine heavens god demons were hiding inside the crystal balls. These nine heavens god demons were all relatively strong. They sat inside the crystal ball and controlled the crystal ball to collide with the heavenly law altar. The heavenly law altar was protected by a barrier. Every time something collided with it, the barrier would erupt with lightning. Xiao Yuelon felt a lot more at ease when she saw many nine heavens divine demons being sent flying. Tian Daozi was calm and composed. He closed his eyes, and no one knew if he was controlling the heavenly Dao altar or if he was resting. With the nine heavens divine demons attacking outside, Xiao Yuelon could not return to the Divine Moon Clan ship. With Yu Shangyun helping Qin Yun heal, she felt more at ease. Once Qin Yun recovered from his injuries, she would follow Qin Yun into battle. Just as the nine heavens demon gods were attacking the heavenly law altar, a dragon's roar resounded from afar. At the same time, Xinyu Tianlong also discovered the direction of the dragon roar. Long Tang had rushed over. Xinyu Tianlong's dragon hall was still very powerful. The heavenly law pavilion had the dragon hall, the demon court, and the heavenly law hall. Now, only the dragon hall was still fighting against the nine heavens god beasts. As for the demon court and heavenly law hall, they had already submitted to the nine heavens demon tribe. Dragon Hall had thousands of people and thousands of strong dragons. After they arrived, they started a chaotic battle with a large group of nine heavens god demons. Because attacking the heavenly law altar was useless, the nine heavenly god beasts all went to attack the Dragon Hall. Xinyu Tianlong also participated in the battle against the powerful nine heavens divine beasts. On the Divine Yang Peak, the clan emperors stood on the plaza, ready to defend at any time. Not only did they have to protect the offerings, they also had to prevent any strong enemies from attacking. Many of the nine heavens immortal demons fighting with Dragon Hall in the distance were killed as well. The nine heavens demon king felt his heart ache as he watched. When the heavenly sun god comes out, your nine heavens goblin tribe will have as many nine heavens goblins as you want. Nine heavens divine tribe's elder Zhao laughed. You have to pay attention to that palace king Jiuyang. He has my primal chaos divine son in his hand. That bastard's cultivation level is not high, but he was able to take my primal chaos divine son. His cultivation level is not high. He won't be able to do much. The goddess of love laughed mockingly. Although he almost broke through the barrier just now, he was seriously injured. He will need at least a day to recover. A youth from a nine heavens divine tribe laughed smugly. A day? You underestimate our nine heavens divine fire. Our nine heavens divine fire is released by drawing on the power of the 10,000 realms divine suns. Palace King Jiuyang will need at least a year to fully recover. If that bastard throws his primal chaos divine sun over, will you be able to block it? The Chaos Race Emperor snorted. He was still very worried about this matter. Of course we can block it. Don't worry about it. The Divine Star Race Emperor patted him on the shoulder and laughed. The Divine Star Race's array is enough to block your primal chaos, Divine Sun. The Divine Yang Race Emperor said in a low voice, "What we need to worry about is whether that guy will break through. He is restricted by the 10 Tao images and cannot open the 10th Mystic Divine Tao Meridian. That is why he cannot break through. If he breaks through, then he will be a huge threat." The Divine Sword Race Emperor nodded. That guy is only at the Mystic Divine realm, but he is already very troublesome. If he breaks through, it will be quite a headache. Even if he breaks through, he will only be at the early stage of the Great God realm. With so many of us working together, coupled with our ability to draw on the power of the 10,000 realms divine suns, will we still be unable to suppress him? Elder Zhao of the Nine Heavens Divine Tribe said disapprovingly. Someone asked, "What is going on with the 10th Tao image? Under what circumstances can he break this curse?" Elder Zhao laughed coldly. It is impossible to break this curse unless he can cultivate a powerful heavenly body. Heavenly body? Many of the race emperors present looked very interested. The situation of the 10 Tao images was also very mysterious to them. There have been such people in their race before, but they did not last long. The 10th Tao image is the heavenly Tao image. Not to mention the 10th Tao image. Even if there are 8 or 9 divine, profound Tao images, if you want to open up the meridians of each Tao image, you will need to have an extremely strong physical body. And a strong physical body is very difficult to cultivate. You all come from the races above the 9 heavens and have the blood of the strong races in your bodies. But even so, it is extremely difficult to cultivate the heavenly blood. The so-called heavenly body is to cultivate a strong heavenly blood and a strong heavenly bone. After possessing a strong heavenly body, go and open up the Xian Shan Dao meridian of the heavenly Tao image, and you'll be able to withstand the power of the illusory heavenly Tao. Elder Zhao explained patiently, and everyone nodded their heads as they listened. That's impossible. How could it be easy to cultivate a heavenly body? Only in the 9 heavens will there be sufficient conditions to cultivate. But even so, it is still extremely difficult. The 9 heavens demon emperor said, "I have the sun seed of the heavenly universe divine sun, but I have not been able to cultivate a heavenly body for many years. I can only pass through the heavenly blood and condense the bones in my body into crystals, but I am still unable to cultivate a heavenly bone." When the emperors heard this, they all looked at the 9 heavens demon emperor with envy. Heavenly blood condensing into bones. This is one of the processes of cultivating a heavenly bone. Although he has not succeeded, it means that he has already begun. So we don't need to worry about that 9 Yang Palace King. I guess that he has at most opened 7 or 8 meridians. He might not even have opened his 9th meridian. Not to mention the impossible 10th meridian. Elder Zhao laughed loudly. Heavenly Law Hall, Devil Academy. Are your people not here yet? Many of my little demons have died. The 9 heavens demon emperor coldly snorted. They will be here soon. We have studied the Dragon Hall thoroughly. We will definitely be able to suppress them. The Heavenly Law Hall Master hastily said. The Dragon Hall is not weak, even when facing the siege of the 9 heavens divine demons. They can repel them. But not long after, the people from the Heavenly Law Hall and the Devil Academy arrived, quickly causing the Dragon Hall to fall into a bitter battle. The Divine Judge also joined in to help the Dragon Hall fight against the enemy. "Old friend is here," Tian Daozi suddenly said. Xiao Yuelon also saw a white cloud floating in the distance. It is a cloud dragon. The cloud dragon has finally arrived. Apart from the cloud dragon, there's also a black gale rushing over. its foster father. Xiao Yuelon is very pleasantly surprised to see the Netherworld Great Emperor arrive. Sword God Xia Wufeng also arrived together with the Netherworld Great Emperor. On the Divine Yang Peak, the Primal Chaos Race's Emperor looked at the Nine Nether Race's Emperor and asked, "There's a guy with very strong Nine Nether Divine Power aura. Is he from a Nine Nether race?" "That guy is the Nine Nether Overlord. He is my blood brother. He is not considered a member of my Nine Nether race. He fought with me before and lost miserably," Nine Nether Race's Emperor said. With the sudden addition of a few experts, the pressure on the Dragon Hall has been greatly reduced. The reason why the Divine Yang Peak is fighting with the Dragon Hall is mainly to exhaust them, to prevent them from causing trouble during the Heaven Sacrifice. The black whirlpool in the sky overflowed with blue energy, suddenly shot down a blue light beam and landed on the Divine Yang Peak. "The Heaven Sacrifice has begun," Elder Zhao excitedly shouted. The divine moon of the heavens in broad daylight suddenly shot out a beam of silver light and dispersed the blue beam of light descending from the black vortex. On the divine Yang Peak, a burst of curses immediately came out. "Damned heavenly divine moon. I want to see how long those women can last." Elder Zhao cursed loudly. Inside the heavenly divine moon, a few Nine Sun divine maidens are cooperating with the divine moon, releasing formidable divine moon power to stall for time. "Yuemei, it's up to you. You must stall for time," for Xiao Yun. Xiao Yuelon looked at the heavenly divine moon. She and the Nine Sun divine maidens are also on the heavenly divine moon. They are also doing their best to control the heavenly divine moon to participate in the battle. In a room on the divine moon ship, Qin Yun is in an incomparably wonderful state. Although his mind is in a daze, he is very clear in the depths of his mind that Yu Shang Yun is cultivating the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra's third layer together with him. Yu Shang Yun is using this method to help him fuse with the divine moon bloodline divine origin. Qin Yun is intoxicated in this kind of peerless beauty. He can feel his body quickly fusing with the divine moon bloodline divine origin. During the fusion process, the blood in his body crazily flowed. After passing through the heavenly imperial heart, the originally faint blue blood gradually deepened. Yu Shangyun hugged Qin Yun tightly. She looked at the sleeping Qin Yun with a complicated expression, feeling his body temperature and heartbeat. "Perhaps this is my fate. No matter what I do, I can't avoid it." Yu Shangyun sighed faintly. "I really didn't expect that he really didn't want to, but in the end, I was the one who forced him." After Yu Shangyun and Qin Yun stayed together for more than half a day, she finally helped him finish fusing with the bloodline divine origin. Qin Yun is sleeping and is entering the next stage. Yu Shangyun doesn't know if Qin Yun can succeed. She has done everything she can do. Right now, she can only put on her armor and go out to fight, trying her best to stop the heaven sacrifice ceremony and buy more time for Qin Yun. Chapter 23:17. Qin Yun could only vaguely hear a faint humming sound, as if someone was humming a tune in a low voice. It seemed to pull him back to his childhood, reminding him of his mother singing songs to coax him to sleep. "Who are you?" Qin Yun's consciousness asked. "Child, you are finally going to grow up. After drifting outside for so long, remember to come home." The voice was full of love, like a mother calling out to him. Mother, mother? In Qin Yun's memories, he only felt familial love in this life. "Grow up quickly and return home soon. Our family will be reunited." The voice sounded again, this time with a light and gentle laugh. Qin Yun woke up at that moment and opened his eyes. "Xiao Yun, what's the situation with you now?" Ling Yun hurriedly asked. "Are you going to break through?" Qin Yun could sense that the sky blood in his body was rapidly strengthening. The divine moon bloodline's divine source had yet to completely merge with his body. He had absorbed the bloodlines of many powerful races before, and the more he absorbed, the more he rejected them. Now that he had Yu Shangyun's help, he could only allow the divine moon bloodline's divine source to enter his body to fuse with it. However, whether or not he could perfectly fuse with it in the end still depended on himself. Qin Yun did not answer Ling Yun because he was not sure if he could break through. He took out the Gemini treasure mirror and activated the profound fusion heavenly rune inside. The Gemini treasure mirror shot out a strong light that shone on his entire body, promoting the divine moon bloodline divine source to fuse with his body even more perfectly. If the fusion goes smoothly, then I will definitely be able to break through. Qin Yun clenched his fists tightly. From within the Divine Moon Clan ship, he could sense the intense shock waves from the battle outside. Little Yun, don't worry. The Divine Moon of the Heavens has blocked the Black Whirlpool. The ceremony is not going smoothly, Ling Yun said. Stimulated by the mysterious fusion heavenly rune's power, the heavenly blood in Qin Yun's body surged violently, increasing in quantity and density. Especially after using the heavenly imperial heart, his heavenly blood would grow extremely quickly. Qin Yun closed his eyes and began cultivating the first stage of the imperial heaven divine art, heavenly body. The heaven body had to cultivate heavenly blood and heavenly bones. There is a lot of heavenly blood in Qin Yun's body. It means that his heavenly blood has been completely cultivated. The next step was to inject heavenly blood into the bones, and through the chant of the imperial heaven divine technique, the bones would quickly form heavenly bones. Once he formed the heavenly bones, he would be considered to have cultivated the heavenly body. Once the heavenly body was formed, he would be able to open the profound God Tao meridian of the heavenly Tao statue. After Qin Yun fused with the divine moon bloodline divine origin, he was able to accommodate even more powerful heavenly blood, allowing him to cultivate the heavenly marrow and heavenly bone. The bones turned light blue, and the heavenly bone gradually formed. Qin Yun could feel that his body was filled with a very powerful heavenly divine power. With a casual move, he could unleash a power similar to the heavenly tribulation and heavenly calamity, filled with rage and ruthlessness. The heavenly body has been formed. I can now open the heavenly Tao divine veins. With just a thought, Qin Yun felt the heavenly Tao image suddenly tremble. At this moment, the heavenly Tao image was like a part of the universe, constantly trembling within the nether sun boom. In an instant, Qin Yun's body seemed to explode fiercely as an incomparably surging heavenly divine power rushed out. The 10th image's profound divine veins had already been opened. The heavenly Tao divine power continuously entered Qin Yun's body and was greedily absorbed by the imperial heaven heart. His eyes were also burning with pain. The heavenly eyes seemed to be wolfing down the heavenly Tao divine power. The complete opening of the 10 profound divine veins meant that Qin Yun could now break through to the great God realm. He had been stuck in a profound God realm for a long time. Now that the 10th meridian had been opened, he could directly step into the great God realm. The main purpose of the great God realm was to perfectly fuse the divine profound Tao image and the profound God Tao meridian into one. The Tao image was the body, and the Tao meridian was the soul. How many divine profound Tao images there were? If there were many Tao images, then he would have to cultivate for a long time before he could enter the next stage, the heavenly God realm. However, Qin Yun's current fusion speed was extremely fast. The divine hammer Tao image quickly fused with the profound God Tao meridian. After the fusion, it directly turned into the great heavenly Tao image. The great heavenly Tao image. The Tao image was like the heavens. What was terrifying was that Qin Yun did not fuse the divine profound Tao images one by one, but at the same time, Ling Yun could also be considered one of Qin Yun's divine profound Tao images, so she was currently evolving into a great heavenly Tao image. If the so-called great heavenly Tao image was strong enough, when it was released, it would be as powerful as a great heavens. Although it was said like this, many great heavenly Tao images of great gods were rather ordinary and not too strong. However, Qin Yun was different, because he had a heavenly Tao image. After he transformed the divine, profound Tao image into the great heavenly Tao image, the might of all the Tao images were like the might of the heavens. In just a moment, Qin Yun's 10 divine, profound Tao images finished evolving. This meant that he had passed the great god realm and directly became a heavenly god. When all of the great heavenly Tao images were cultivated to perfection, one would become a heavenly god. I'm a heavenly god. Qin Yun summoned the light blue crystal myriad heaven divine saber. The moment he held the saber, the divine saber Tao image in his body directly entered the myriad heaven divine saber. The myriad heaven divine saber seemed to have been awakened in an instant, as if it suddenly possessed a powerful soul. The power of the saber was like heaven and earth splitting apart. What Qin Yun was alarmed about was that he couldn't stop it all. His imperial heaven heart seemed to have gone out of control. It was constantly strengthening his heavenly blood and cultivating a powerful heavenly body. This meant that he had to continue breaking through. I want to go out and fight while breaking through. Qin Yun felt that he could directly step into Saint God realm. Outside, Yu Shangyun was fighting with a few demon dukes. Facing a race emperor like Yu Shangyun, only a few demon dukes of the Nine Heavens demon race could block her and even suppress her. Nine Heavens demon emperor and other race emperors did not come out to fight because they wanted to protect the offerings so that they wouldn't be saved by the divine moon of the heavens. Even if they came out to fight, they would wait for the best opportunity. Yu Shangyun and Qin Yun cultivated together, causing her vitality to be greatly damaged. Now she was barely able to block the few demon dukes. Divine Moon Race Emperor looks very weak. What's going on? Primal Chaos Race Emperor asked doubtfully. Could it be that she suddenly went berserk? This is a good opportunity to take her down. Nine Heavens Demon Emperor, send a few more demon generals out, and you should be able to take her down. Elder Zhao said with smile. All right, if we capture this Divine Moon Race Emperor and use her as an offering, then the heavenly universe divine sun we created will be even stronger. Nine Heavens Demon Emperor immediately sent out many demon generals. There are more than 10 demon dukes and demon generals. Their strength is very terrifying. Moreover, they have those blue crystals on their bodies. Their defense is very strong. Yu Shangyun is surrounded and attacked by all kinds of blue crystal weapons. Her vitality is already greatly damaged. She can't resist for long. Her armor is cut open. Suddenly, a huge moon orchid appeared in the sky. Xiao Yuan attacked. The beautiful moon orchid is cold and filled with killing intent. Many petals fell down like snow-white blades, locking onto those demon dukes and demon generals and interfering with their battle. Xiao Yuan's petals are flickering with heavenly law divine runes. This is the heavenly law inheritance she mastered. It is also very lethal to Nine Heavens divine demons. Yuan, don't worry about me. Return to the ship. If necessary, use the divine ship to block the heaven sacrificial light. Yu Shangyun sent voice transmission to Xiao Yuan. The divine moon of the heavens can't hold on for much longer. The divine moon of the heavens and the black whirlpool's light beam have already collided many times. It is already nighttime, but the divine moon of the heavens has become very dim. In the past, the power of the divine moon of the heavens came from the two myriad realms' divine suns, but now, the power of the two myriad realms' divine suns seems to have entered the black whirlpool. Divine Moon Race Emperor, accept your fate. The Divine Star Emperor suddenly rushed out. Beside him are countless large and small round stars. The Divine Star Emperor has a star great formation with him. He saw that Xinyu Tianlong is far away, and Divine Judge is also fighting with Nine Heavens divine demons. They don't have enough time to save Yu Shangyun, so he directly took action. Several star array formations instantly enveloped Yu Shangyun, causing her to be unable to move at all. Chapter 23:18 In the end, the divine moon was still unable to block it. The women inside the divine moon released all their power and were condensed by the divine moon. But even so, they were still unable to resist the power of the myriad realms' divine sun. Yu Shangyun gritted her teeth. She, who was exhausted, was besieged by the divine star emperor and many demon lords and demon generals. In just a moment, she was heavily injured. At this moment, she is also in despair. As long as the light landed on the divine sun peak, it would take away the souls of those women and even devour their bodies. Thinking of everything that was about to happen, tears of grief fell from Yu Shangyun's eyes under the helmet. Let the ceremony begin. Elder Zhao laughed loudly and shouted. Then, he and a few elders of the Nine Heavens divine race waved the blue flags in their hands. As long as the ceremony succeeded, the heavenly universe divine sun would be born. The divine desolate would no longer have 9 suns, but only one heavenly universe divine sun. Having 9 myriad realms divine suns meant that they would be scattered and would form 9 factions in the divine desolate, which would not be beneficial to their centralized rule. Elder Zhao's faction had won the control of the myriad realms divine sun, so they had to take advantage of this opportunity to control even more power and suppress the other factions to the point that they would not be able to make a comeback. The dozens of people from the Nine Heavens divine race were excited to the point of insanity. The women inside the 5 ships were about to be sacrificed, but this group of people were so excited. In order to pursue greater power, their hearts had already been distorted. The red light falling from the black whirlpool was neither fast nor slow. Many people's gazes were focused on the huge red light beam. Even the Divine Star Emperor and the Demon Lords were fighting Yu Shangyun while paying attention to the light beam. As long as it successfully landed and devoured those sacrifices, the dust would settle. From now on, the Divine Desolate would be their world. Come out, Heavenly Universe Divine Sun. The Nine Heavens Demon Emperor laughed loudly. Back then, I took away the sun seed of the Heavenly Universe Divine Sunday. Today, I have finally planted a Heavenly Universe Divine Sun. We don't need to return to the 9 heavens to control the Heavenly Universe Divine Sun. Elder Zhao also laughed excitedly. Yu Shangyun was in extreme despair. She could not help but look at one of the Divine Moonrace's ships. She did not see Qin Yun coming out. Although she had helped Qin Yun fuse with the Divine Moon Bloodline Divine Source, she did not have much hope for Qin Yun. She only had a sliver of hope. In front of the powerful 9 Heavens Celestial race, 9 Heavens Demon race, and other powerful races, it was impossible to reverse the situation. Yu Shangyun was very clear on how strong those forces were. No one could fight against these powerful forces that had united together. Just as everyone's attention was focused on the red light beam, a huge square blue tower suddenly appeared. The blue tower shone with resplendent blue light, as if it was carved out of a beautiful blue crystal. This pagoda is Qin Yun's floating cloud pagoda, also known as the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda. The floating cloud pagoda also underwent great changes because of Qin Yun's breakthrough. At this moment, it was like a 10,000 zhang tall pagoda that stood on top of the Divine Yang Peak. Just the base of the pagoda alone was as big as the Divine Yang Peak. If this pagoda were to crash down, it might be able to crush the entire Divine Yang Peak. It's the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda. Damn 9-sun Palace King. Quickly kill him. Elder Zhao suddenly roared. The red light beam that fell from the black whirlpool landed on the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda. It was like a stone sinking into the ocean. It disappeared without a sound. Break for me, Qin Yun coldly shouted. The huge 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda suddenly fell down and then burst out with a berserk power. When the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda transformed into the floating cloud rod, it could absorb and store energy, compress it to the extreme, and then burst it out, increasing the power by several times. Now, the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda absorbed the red light beam and transformed it inside the pagoda. Then the energy burst out along with the huge pagoda. All the clan emperors, dukes, Dukes and experts on the Divine Yang Peak are extremely shocked. They immediately released their strongest divine power to block the attack so that the Divine Yang Peak wouldn't be destroyed. Boom! The nine-sun heaven-raising pagoda fell down and attacked the barrier that enveloped the Divine Yang Peak. An incomparably violent energy wave erupted, accompanied by the berserk divine power wreaking havoc, causing cracks to appear on the entire Divine Yang heavenly island. And the Divine Yang Peak's barrier is also extremely terrifying. It can actually block this terrifying attack. In fact, this is mainly because the clan emperors joined forces to block it. He broke through. Yu Shangyun looked at the blue pagoda that appeared above the Divine Yang Peak. Her heavy and despairing heart was originally like ashes, but at this moment, it suddenly burned with exuberant hope. The Divine Star Emperor and the group of demon dukes and demon generals no longer cared about Yu Shangyun. Instead, they charged towards the sky above the Divine Yang Peak. Don't even think about leaving, Yu Shangyun shouted angrily. She tightly gripped her sword and charged towards the Divine Star Emperor. Rumble. The nine-sun heaven-raising pagoda is like a huge square hammer that once again smashed into the Divine Yang Peak's barrier. This time, it is even more violent than before. The Divine Yang Peak barrier has already been shaken. If there is no way to resist, it will definitely be broken. And many of the mountain houses on the Divine Yang Heavenly Island have collapsed. Many huge cracks appeared on the island. They were all poured in by the ferocious seawater. Damned woman, you are courting death, the Divine Star Emperor roared. Suddenly, a ball of light fell from the sky. It looked like a meteor. After the ball of light fell, it suddenly turned into many light dots, forming a huge net formation that sealed Yu Shangyun. Yu Shangyun was sealed by a formation formed by hundreds of small stars. Those stars are all irregular stones. Each stone is as big as a house. They densely covered Yu Shangyun from all directions, surrounding her. Then, a burst of berserk energy burst out and attacked the sealed Yu Shangyun. Wasting my 100 heavens star formation. The Divine Star Emperor cursed in a low voice and continued to charge towards the sky above the Divine Yang Peak. Now, only the Divine Star Emperor outside can deal with Qin Yin. If any of the clan emperors on the Divine Yang Peak were to come out, they might not be able to block the nine-sun heaven-raising pagoda's attack. Those demon dukes and demon generals were the first to arrive above the Divine Yang Peak. They surrounded the nine-sun heaven-raising pagoda and released the demon god's power, condensing it into a ball of light and attacking. At this time, 9 huge dragon-engraved altars appeared in the sky. As soon as the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation appeared, it immediately began operating. As the 9 dragons roared, a powerful divine power surged out and poured into the nine-sun heaven-raising pagoda. The most terrifying thing is that the 9 altars quickly rotated and quickly formed a whirlpool. The nearby demon dukes and demon generals sensed the powerful suction and immediately fled in panic. Everyone come here. Qin Yin released gravity domain and enveloped the demon dukes and demon generals. The gravity of the area around them is under Qin Yin's control. Their bodies are as light as feather and were sucked into the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. At this moment, Shun Yu Tianlong, divine martial judge, He Yunlong, and others have also gathered together. Demon dukes and demon generals are not fighting with them. What they need to do now is to work together to protect the 5 ships after the Divine Yang Peaks barrier is broken. The God Star Race's the Arch was very strong. When he rushed over, several huge stars came crashing over. Qin Yin immediately flew out of the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda and attacked those huge stars with his palm. Star-breaking palm. The palm energy is filled with violent vibration divine power. Moreover, this divine power has been condensed into heavenly law divine runes by Qin Yin. He released a palm imprint with each palm. In just a few moves, he released several palm imprints. The palm imprints transformed into heavenly law divine runes and rushed towards those stars. Boom, boom, boom. Continuous explosion sound spread out. Those huge stars that were used to set up the formation were all shattered by Qin Yun's palm energy. And at this moment, the strengthened nine-dragon heavenly origin formation fiercely rushed down. Many star fragments floated in the air. The divine Yang Peak's barrier was also smashed open. The vibrating energy wave turned the star fragments into powder. What caused people to be alarmed is that cracks have already appeared on the divine Yang Peak. Again, at the same time, Qin Yun slashed at the divine Star Emperor. Qin Yun poured 10 divine veins divine power into the myriad heaven divine saber. The saber energy slashed out is as majestic as the sea and directly sent the divine Star Emperor flying. Seeing Qin Yun's strength, those race emperors are incomparably shocked. They previously discussed that Qin Yun is unable to break the curse of the 10 images, and the Qin Yun in front of them has clearly broken through. They can all feel that Qin Yun's divine power has the characteristics of the great heavenly Tao image. It is very likely that he has reached the heavenly God realm. Don't be afraid. The sacrifice is still sealed. We will guard the sacrifice. Elder Zhao shouted. Just as Elder Zhao finished speaking, Qin Yun suddenly landed on the barrier of the 5 large ships. Qin Yun's heaven-trampling divine boots erupted with a power that seems to be able to trample through heaven and earth. His feet landed on the barrier. Divine power and heavenly might surged violently like a gale, wreaking havoc in all directions. The barrier was directly destroyed by Qin Yun's stomp. The few large ships immediately moved and flew into the sky. At the same time, many race emperors attacked the large ships, but those attacks were all blocked by Qin Yun's Sun Heavenly Shield and Nether Sun. Quickly kill that bastard. He is only a heavenly god. Take this opportunity to kill him. Elder Zhao raised a saber and charged at Qin Yun. Qin Yun floated in the sky and kept the 9-sun heaven raising pagoda. Within the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation, he looked down on the 3 race emperors, the 9 heavens demon emperor and the 9 heavens divine race people. Elder Zhao hacked at Qin Yun's 9-dragon heavenly origin formation a few times, but was unable to break it. Qin Yun also did not seem to have any intention to continue attacking. Only the divine star race emperor, divine sword race emperor, and primal chaos race emperor flew up. Divine Yang race emperor, 9 nether race emperor, and the others did not come up. They said before that they would not participate in this kind of battle. Furthermore, they can see that Qin Yun has already broken the curse of the 10 images. The strength he has displayed is also very shocking. If they attack and are unable to kill Qin Yun, they will definitely suffer revenge in the future. Qin Yun looked at Yushang Yun and saw that she has been sealed by the formation formed by hundreds of stars. He waved his saber and released a light arc that broke the formation from far away. 9-Sun Palace King, you have ruined our plans. Since you've let go of our sacrifice, I'll use you as a sacrifice and continue with our sacrificial ceremony. Elder Zhao said coldly. The sacrificial ceremony must be completed smoothly. Chapter 23:19. If it was before, Qin Yun would have definitely stopped the heavenly universe divine sun from appearing, but now he realized that he has enough strength to absorb it into the 9-sun divine spirit. His 9-sun divine spirit required 9 powerful divine suns. Now, he already had 2, and heavenly universe divine sun was extremely rare. Right in front of him was an excellent opportunity. Ridiculous. Who do you think you are? You think you are worthy of the heavenly universe divine sun's blessing? With your current strength, we can easily kill you. Elder Zhao said with sneer. When they saw Qin Yun hiding inside the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation, they knew that Qin Yun's strength is not enough to fight against them. Qin Yun broke the curse of the 10 images and displayed a very strong power. Just now, he sent the Divine Star Emperor flying with 1 saber strike and also destroyed the star array of the Divine Star Emperor. At this moment, The Divine Star Race Emperor who was rushing over was extremely furious. He had collected these stars for many years. They were like his divine weapons, but now so many of them had been destroyed. Heavenly Universe Divine Sun's blessing? Heavenly Universe Divine Sun is not worthy of blessing me. Qin Yun suddenly took a deep breath. There is still a very powerful energy in his body that has not been refined. After opening the Heavenly Tao images Xian Divine Veins, there is a steady flow of energy from the Heavenly Tao. It seems like you don't know anything about Divine Desolate and Myriad Realms Divine Sun. Elder Zhao snorted and said with sneer, "Do you think we're the strongest in Divine Desolate?" Love God looked at Qin Yun and said with sneer, "You are wrong. There are many beings stronger than us in Divine Desolate. You don't even know why Divine Desolate was formed, and yet you are spouting nonsense." Nine Heavens Demon Emperor said, "You are underestimating Heavenly Universe Divine Sun. That is not something you can control. You really know nothing about this world. The strength of my Nine Heavens Demon race is not something you can imagine. If you destroy the birth of Heavenly Universe Divine Sun, the God-Demon realm above the Nine Heavens will definitely descend upon Divine Desolate. There's a God-Demon realm above the Nine Heavens." After Qin Yun heard this, he secretly became vigilant. The Divine Star Emperor furiously cursed at Qin Yun. "Damned bastard, if you have the guts, get the hell out here. Give me back my Chaos Divine Sun." The Primal Chaos Races, the Arch shouted. The Goddess of Love sneered. "You are indeed very strong after your rebirth. Even if you break the 10 mirror spells, what can you do? If you face the joint attack of so many race emperors, you will still die in the end. If you don't believe me, look up. That vortex in the sky is the mouth of the heavens that wants to swallow powerful souls. And you will become a sacrifice." Goddess of Love, you betrayed me back then. I still remember this. The God of Thunder who betrayed me with you has been eliminated by me. Aren't you afraid of my revenge? Qin Yun looked at the Love Goddess and said coldly, "Ha! You're currently holed up in the formation. Of course I'm not afraid. Why don't you come out and kill me?" The Goddess of Love laughed. "So what if I betrayed you? You idiot, you trusted me and the God of Thunder so much, but we just treated you like an idiot." Qin Yun looked at the Love Goddess coldly. When Elder Zhao and company saw the Love Goddess provoking Qin Yun, they were secretly delighted. If Qin Yun was provoked, it would save them a lot of trouble. After the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin formation fused with the Divine Space Dragon Pearl, it became very powerful. It will not be easy for them to break it. "Palace King, don't worry about them. We have already rescued them. Let's retreat." Yu Shangyun's voice came from the distance. Nine Heavens Demon Emperor and the others did not attack Yu Shangyun and Xinyu Tianlong because they want to concentrate their power and wait for an opportunity to capture Qin Yun. Qin Yun has the Divine King Heavenly Seal, and his body is also worth studying. Adding the Nine Sun Heaven Raising Pagoda and the Nine Dragon Heavenly Origin formation, it can be said that his entire body is a treasure. If they capture Qin Yun, Elder Zhao and the others can split the good things and be happy for a while. Goddess of Love, if you force that guy to come out, I will confer you the title of King of Primal Chaos Race. Primal Chaos Race's Emperor suddenly said. When the Love Goddess heard this, her eyes lit up and she shouted at Qin Yun, "Do you still remember Moon God? She was your beloved woman. She died miserably in my hands, and her Moon God seat was even destroyed by me. Her soul is suffering in the God seat. Moon God is Xie Qiru. Back then, Xie Qiru and Qin Yun were together. She helped Qin Yun with many things. Later on, she died with Qin Yun and reincarnated as Xian Qiru. Qin Yun always remembered that Xie Qiru was killed by the Love Goddess. Qin Yun did not attack because he is still cultivating and can still break through. If he enters Saint God Realm, his strength will become even stronger. But now, the Love Goddess's words have completely infuriated him. "Love Goddess, you are really stupid," Qin Yun said in deep voice. "Primal Chaos Race's Emperor's Primal Chaos Divine Sun is in my hands. His power is gone, but you are still kneeling and licking his boots. Look at yourself. You're like a pig. In the eyes of primal chaos race's emperor, you are an evil sow. You, love goddess, laughed in anger and shouted, "Come out if you have the guts. Moon god is your beloved woman. I killed her. Are you not going to come out and avenge me?" Qingyun suddenly smiled and said, "If I want revenge, why do I need to come out? Just come in." Just as his voice fell, the 9 altars suddenly rotated and released a burst of spatial power that locked onto the love goddess. Space fluctuation appeared on the love goddess's body, and then she was teleported into the Great Formation. The love goddess realized that she has been teleported in and immediately screamed. She was so arrogant outside because there were a few race emperors around. She is not afraid of Qingyun coming out, because if he comes out, he will be taken care of by those race emperors. But now, she did not expect that Qingyun's Great Formation would be so evil that it can teleport her inside. "I'm a saint god. You are a heavenly god. You are not my match." Although the love goddess said that, she is actually very weak. Qingyun looked at her indifferently, as if he is looking at a dead person. He said slowly, "Before you die, take a good look at the faces of those race emperors outside. Look at them. Do they care about you at all?" The love goddess really went to take a look. Those race emperors, 9 Heavens Demon Emperor, and Elder Zhao, all have cold and indifferent faces. They do not care about her life at all. Her heart suddenly turned cold. She suddenly felt that she is missing something in her life. "Take a look at my friends," Qingyun said again. The love goddess looked at Shun Yu Tianlong, Yun Long, Xia Wufeng, and the others in the distance. They are all restless and ready to attack at any time. She can't help but tremble. Qingyun said with smile, "Love goddess, although you are the love goddess, nobody loves you. Family, friendship, love, they're all love. You have none of them." "You," the love goddess said in fear, "what is the use of these things?" The love goddess screamed in fear and rushed toward Qingyun. "Since you think they are useless, then you are not worthy of the love goddess's divine seat." Qingyun summoned the divine king heavenly seal and controlled it to smash the love goddess. The divine king heavenly seal landed on the love goddess and directly took away her divine seat. During the process, the love goddess screamed miserably. The divine seat that fused with her soul was taken away as if her soul was shattered. "Love goddess, did you forget that I have the divine king heavenly seal? This is what you have always wanted." Qingyun controlled the divine king heavenly seal and released a strong golden light that enveloped the love goddess. "Today, I will let you have a taste of the punishment of the divine king heavenly seal." The love goddess screamed miserably as her body was pierced by all kinds of golden lightning and flames. This scene caused the scalps of the people outside the Great Formation to go numb. The appearance of the divine king heavenly seal also caused Elder Zhao and the other 9 heavens divine race people to become greedy. While the love goddess was being tortured, she realized that the clan emperors and 9 heavens demon emperors' attention were all on the divine king heavenly seal. No one cared about her. She suddenly recalled that the only people who cared about her were the divine king and moon god back then. But she betrayed the rare care and concern in her life. Turn over a new leaf in your next life. Qingyun controlled the divine king heavenly seal to press down. Divine light exploded and completely destroyed the love goddess's body. In front of Qingyun, a heavenly god, a saint god was nothing but an ant completely crushed. One must know that the love goddess is also a relatively strong saint god. She obtained a very strong primal chaos bloodline and was also the heavenly mother of the heavenly law divine realm. But she was still killed by Qingyun in an instant. The operation of your Great Formation requires a lot of divine universe metal stones. The consumption must be great. Let's see how long you can last. Elder Zhao clasped his hands behind his back and said with a sneer, "After daybreak, the myriad realms' divine sun will appear. I will summon the divine sun, heavenly lightning from the divine sun. You won't be able to block it for long." If I want to leave, no one can stop me. Qin Yun smiled and said, right now, I want the heavenly universe divine sun to appear even more than all of you. I won't leave. You can get people in, right? If you have the guts, then get me in. The Divine Star Race Emperor shouted angrily. You better get me in and then kill me. Otherwise, when I destroy you in the future, I will definitely ravage your woman to death. The Divine Star Race Emperor could also see that Qin Yun cared a lot about his woman. Qin Yun took a light breath and sighed. I am a person who can't stand stimulation the most. Moreover, I have a very old debt to settle with you. I am a very forgetful person. Did I owe you a debt? And it's very big. This is truly a very delightful matter. It's just a pity that I don't remember what it is. Can you tell me? The Divine Star Race Emperor laughed sinisterly. Qin Yun narrowed his eyes and looked at the Divine Star Race Emperor with killing intent. Then, he activated the Great Formation and sent the Divine Star Race Emperor in. This caused everyone to cry out in alarm. They all felt that this is inconceivable. No one expected that Qin Yun would actually send a Race Emperor in. This is clearly a one-on-one battle with the Divine Star Race Emperor. Although Qin Yun broke the curse of the 10 images, no one can see through his current strength. They only feel that it will be very difficult for him to face the Race Emperor. After all, those Race Emperors have lived for many years. They're not people who can be defeated by someone who just stepped into the heavenly god realm. White Tiger was once my brother, my friend, Qin Yun said coldly. He died in your hands. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.